Hey, welcome back to the Metropolitan Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It is the 11th of March. We are halfway through a week that has been so absolutely exciting for Netrunner players around the world. How is everyone doing today? Oh, that camera moved slightly. That's perfect. How y'all doing? It's a Thursday night. We have so much news to go through today. I'm really excited for a lot of stuff. I'm going to save most of that for the news section, which we're going to do after the Decklist of the week. And there's a lot to talk about, specifically about next week. So I'm stoked. You're a little quiet, maybe? Okay, so what I did is I added this like big thing onto my microphone to cut out the plosives because I've been spitting on my microphone a lot. So it might be a bit quieter. Is this better? Is this better? I'm yelling. Yo, Kyle, how's it going? Jessica, how you doing? Vincent, how's it going? Running Parallel says, oh, Keyhole is a neat addition. We're going to talk about that in a second. Mark Andre, how you doing? Baza, happy Thursday. Scoops, yeah, Scoops is a thing. Scoops is a thing. We'll talk about it a bit. We'll talk about it. So excited for streaming. Yo, Jinglis, how's it going? Welcome. Pickwin, amazing news. There's so much stuff. Jessica saying Keyhole. Okay, check this out. Give me 1 second to pull this up, but I think this is such a big deal and I'm so jazzed about it. I'll probably make a small video about this on the channel. But if I go to Twitch TV/MetropolitanGrid, this only works on Twitch and it only works if you're not watching mobily. But in theory, if you're watching, okay, let's mute that. Oh, I can't. Okay, well, this will be a loop. But now if you're watching on Twitch, there's an extension called Keyhole. Oh, you can't see this. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so that's me watching myself. Good stuff. There's an extension now we have on Twitch. If you go here and click on Keyhole, it'll show you the deck list that we're playing. It shows you the whole deck list, and if you highlight over any single card, it'll show you the card itself with the full art. And if you want to click on any of the cards, it opens it up in the Netrunner DP page. The same goes as if you want to click on the deck list itself at the top, it'll open up in the Netrunner DB page. So it doesn't do any like deck tracking, but for viewers who are especially new to this game, I'm gonna shut down the stream so there's no loop. You can now follow along pretty easily with what we're watching if you're watching on Twitch as an extension. YouTube doesn't support extensions, so this is on Twitch. Here, let me show you where it is. 1 second. So if you want to go onto Twitch, again, you go to the extensions page on Twitch and you can just search Netrunner or search Keyhole and you'll find it. And you can add this. So this is an extension that a friend of mine in the MetaMate, his name is Remy, has been working on for a couple weeks now. I've been helping him with it a bit in terms of like how like what's good for user interface. And it just basically came out 2 days ago. It finally got published, created by Wasa. That's Remy. You might know him if you watch his channel for a while. He's a young student finishing off his like software engineering degree. If you have any feedback, because there's definitely going to be bugs with this thing. I'm pretty sure neutral identities don't work well, or like mini factions are kind of busted for some reason. You can hit up Remy at keyhole.ext extension@gmail.com if you have any feedback. You want to send him a coffee, whatever you want. But again, you can add this to your stream so easily, and then in the extensions you just basically post in the Netrunner DB deck code of what you're playing and you can have this on your stream. Again, only works on Twitch, and I'll make a post about this later, but anybody who is doing Twitch streaming can get access to this. Warwick is asking about GitHub. I don't know if the GitHub is like publicly available. Maybe Remy's embarrassed about the quality of his code, but I'll ask him because that might be interesting. But again, it just links to Netrunner DB, and this is amazing. I'm so stoked for this when it comes to the new experience for new players, because if you're following along on Twitch, you can just check out and see what we're doing, which is fantastic. It's so easy. 10 out of 10. So stoked for this, that this is finally out and we can play with it. So we're going to be playing with it today. Awesome. Yo, Shant, how's it going? That's amazing. I'm so stoked for it. That's one of my biggest issues when it comes to like watching games online that I don't know what they are. You can't like, some games have plugins where you can highlight over a card and it'll show you the version. That's very difficult to do. And this is like a much easier way where you can just see the deck list and then tell me that I don't have clot in it, which is absolutely fantastic for me. Semiotics, how's it going? Speaking of small videos, love your review video that you put up this week. Thank you, Solom. The feedback for that has been absolutely stunning. We'll talk a bit more about that during the news section, but that's definitely something we're going to be doing a lot more of, especially when it pertains to Gateway, which is a really big deal. Cards shown are a tad bigger than the extension window. All right, that's good feedback, Talaris. I have no idea how this looks on different screens, or I don't think it works mobilely, but there's probably like issues with CSS or whatever that we can work on. We just need custom Metropolitan emotes. It's really hard to do. I don't think you can get emotes on Twitch because we stream onto 2 channels, so I'm not allowed access to a lot of the Twitch stuff. Yo, Andrew, hey, it's the first time I've been able to catch the stream live. I moved to Australia from the UK and I'm on day 2 of hotel quarantine. Hopefully it's not too bad, Andrew. So hopefully stay safe. I wonder how hotel quarantine is, but yo, enjoy Down Under. It's great to have there for A&R. Yeah, it really is. It really is. That video is great, Jessica. Cheers. Good evening, Andre. We may. How's it going? Just ditch YouTube. Never. Parallel. Never. Working late. Glass time. D&D. How's it going? Honestly, as a new player and someone who only managed to catch the stream for the first time, this is a game changer. No longer will I need to keep Netrunner EDB open all the time. Chat, that's exactly it. I'm so glad it is landing that well. Let me know how it goes if you're watching, if there's any problems, if there's any functionality that you wish was in there that isn't. Just hit up that email. Again, it's keyhole.ext@gmail.com. It's such a big deal. I'm a really big fan of it. There's so much stuff to talk about this week. Let's go to the Netrunner DB Decklist of the week. Glad to have the stream going while I work. D&D, enjoy it. Who can we thank for this? Yusengrin, it is my friend. His name is Remy. He goes by Wasa. You can find his deck lists online. He has a Persephone deck list that he's a big fan of. That's all I can say. I've been playing Arkham Horror with him for like 4 or 5 years. He hasn't played too much Netrunner recently, but he's a young dude in my meta who is finishing off his software engineering degree, and this seems like a fun thing to do on the side. But anyways, you can find it. Anybody who wants to stream, it's publicly available. Keyhole, you can find it on the Twitch extensions. Sick. Again, any feedback, hit him up at keyhole.extension@gmail.com. Sweet. Doing all right, trying to find a new place to live. Might be moving back to the city for a while. The housing market is nuts off the island right now. Like nuts and bad or nuts and good? I thought the housing market everywhere was like kind of rough right now. Hotel quarantine, not too bad. I lie on bed doing some work whilst people bring me food 3 times a day, but I guess it's day 2 of 14, so don't call it too soon. Do you have to pay for that out of pocket, or is that like a healthcare thing? Or like if someone migrated you, they help pay for that? I'll get that going for Everstream again. I can't tell. Yeah, yo, Sengrin, let me know how it goes too on your end. It's really easy to work with. You just fill in the box. I can't tell if I'm out of source when SSO is Decklist of the week and I'm not ridiculously excited. All right, this is the Decklist of the week. It's pretty wild. I'm excited to do this. I'm also excited to get through the Decklist of the week just to talk about all the news, because again, there's so much news. So we'll get to that for sure. But this is a funny deck for sure. We get COVID restrictions lessened in BC today. Oh, wow. Hey, nice. Yo, Jazz, how's it going? Happy Friday. Oh yeah, 3,000 Australian dollars? Whoa, that is some money. Damn. Enjoy your vacation, if you want to call it that. All right, this is the Decklist of the week. This has been by Vocke, and it's an SSO deck. And SSO is a really fun ability. To me, it feels a bit feast or famine, because the idea is you need to stick agendas to the board. The longer they're on the board, the better your ice gets with those free advancement counters. So if you can shut them down early, they have a problem, especially because a lot of times they'll run ice that's not very good or very expensive until it's been advanced. So we'll see how that works. And this ID gets a lot worse, it seems, with the new rotation that's going to come at the end of the month with the release of everything that comes with it, because we don't have too many face-up agendas in the deck. And what's wild about this deck is there's only 2 face-up agendas anyways, which is CityWorks Project. The other one that generally shows up in this deck list is Hollywood Renovation, which is in the Sansan cycle, so that is rotating. But otherwise, we have Government Takeover, which is funny, and we have SDS Drone Deployment, and Hostile Takeovers do usually show up in the list. So we're only on 7 agendas. And again, our ability only works if we have a face-up agenda on the table. And that's why we're using another card that does, unfortunately, looks like it's rotating with Sansan, which is Casting Call, which lets you install any agenda from hand face up to hopefully get around the problem that we have. Then we have some ice. All this ice is generally pretty good with advancements. Border Control is just a good ice. We have Whoredoms and Mouselie. We have Excalibur as a one-of, which is honestly a pretty good ice. It's very good with Border Control. But we only have 2. And then we have Orion, which is weird to me because there's a lot of other ice. This one is, I don't think, particularly way better than any of the other ice, that sort of constellation ice, all the ice that you res for free if you have 3 advancements on it. This one, we're going to probably end up spending 6 to res it, which isn't bad at all, but it also has all subtypes. So the runner generally gets a choice on how they want to deal with this, which is pretty wild. I have no doubt we could be playing like, I don't know, what's the best one? probably the code gate one, I think, is the hardest to deal with. They all get boomeranged, but that's the idea. On top of that, we have some other win conditions. We have single biotic labor, which is really important because you can install an agenda, biotic labor, and then play Red Planet Couriers, which we have 3 of, which is our win condition. I love Red Planet Couriers. Let's go. We also don't have mass comms, which is kind of wild. This is the best idea, I think, for mass commercializations because you're going to get counters for free. You might as well make 1 billion credits off of it. And then we have a single punitive, which is also very strange to me. And I think the deck builder, their idea is that you don't need more than 1 of each card piece that you want for a combo because you have consulting visit. I don't entirely buy it. I'd rather have 2 punitives, maybe even 3. I know you can archive memory of them, but it's a way more flexible to me. We also have a single boom, but no tag punishment, which is also pretty wild. That's largely it. So we want to get our agendas down and score up pretty fast, get those advancements and Red Planet Couriers out, which, you know, can happen pretty quickly if you manage to like fast track a government takeover and put 6 advancements on something. So wait, RPC, you're not Andre. I don't know what you're talking about. RPC is great. Let's go. Jackson, this kind of looks like my face down SSO deck. You have a face down SSO deck? John, how about the new Anarch ID? We'll be talking about that after the deck list of the week. Honestly, I'm pretty stoked. Tao's my new favorite runner. I just don't want to play anything else. Baza, it's soon. I've been jamming so much Tao. Yo, have you been playing the new IDs? I need to hear how that's been going for you because I haven't tried any of that stuff. No dedication ceremony, not enough synergy? Yeah, Shen, probably not. I'm not the biggest fan of dedication ceremony in these sort of lists anyways. Like, it gives you a bit of click compression when you have an agenda on the table. It saves you, you know, it gives you 2 free advancements basically for the card itself. You can't use SSO on a card that already has advancements on it, so it's not amazing, but it does let you get like a quick Whoredom or Mouseless up to end the run or better. But it's strange. It's definitely gonna be goofy and fun. I want to see how some of these pieces work because this is not the way that I've built an SSO deck. Although the biotic labor Red Planet Couriers is going to be strong no matter what we do, especially if we fast track. That's the thing is I wish we had more biotic labor so we could do like biotic labor, fast track, biotic labor, install Red Planet, which you can score a government from hand. Okay, I'm going to copy this and let's go. What's the new Anarch ID? It's 1 credit in a card when you trash an access card? Yes, but first time a turn. Not first time, once per turn, I think. We'll look at it. Orion is so fun if you can government take over SSO6 counters on a reserve for free. Yeah, that's the dream though. I just don't know how often we can like aggressively jam government takeover. I feel like if we're not doing that, we're not playing the deck. So maybe we will try that. For a pretty much new player, how are decks of the weeks chosen? Andrew, I don't know. I think it is based off of whatever deck gets the most, I don't know what the heuristic is. I think it's just the most likes. It might be the most conversation. I think it's just the most likes. I'm not sure if that is like public knowledge how that works. Also, my camera stuff is broken for some reason tonight, so I gotta move my camera manually. Yo, hey. Jay Wayland, I have a lot of experience with them actually playing government takeover decks, so this is gonna be right in their wheelhouse. Oh, Casting Call gives tags. Yeah, Solomon, you're totally right. Casting Call does give tags if they do keep them. That's kind of neat. Love SSO, so want it to be good, but it's so narrow. It's just inherently going to be narrow because there's only so many agendas that support it. This is going to get worse really quickly. Thanks, you too. But it is a very strong snowball idea. I do believe it is good as long as you keep going. It gets a lot worse with cards like Boomerang or David. Anything, not that David's in the meta, but anything that can attack the remote very quickly, it's a really big deal. Also, central pressure can be an issue. Oh man, I'm way behind on chat. We played on stream a while back, Casting Call Government Takeover. My list is on REB. Oh, nice. Opening hand's pretty bad. We do have the fast track, but we don't have really good ice. I don't know how much ice we have in the list. It can't be that much. 7+4. Oh, we don't have a lot of ice. We have 14 ice and one of them is unique, and this Excalibur doesn't do anything. It's positional. That's way less ice than I would think. That being said, okay. All right, we're off to the races. I believe it's done by whatever CTZ plays on Tuesday. Will you be talking about NBN Reality Plus today? No, we will. We'll be talking about everything that came out since the last stream, which is a fair bit of things. Okay, I think I can zoom in more. Yeah, that's where it breaks. Okay, we'll go here. So we're playing against Haley. She's going to set up, so we generally want to rush out a wee bit. Orion is really risky. I think we just want to set up with 2 ice. Hedge fund, we'll do R&D to not die to indexing. Masfingo with a bunch of advancements seems good. We'll do R&D, and I'm not worried about HQ pressure, so I'm going to put this into a new remote, and we'll put border control, actually. That seems a bit better. Okay. Just on my day 2 COVID no swap, gain 1 click, take 2 brain damage. Oof. I hope it's all right. Going to talk about spoilers after this? Yes, 100%. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about all the NISEI news, and there's a lot of news, especially because next week is a thing that we can talk about now. Beth and Tech Writer, this looks like it's a grappling hook boomerang kind of list, which is a problem because they can circumvent some of the bigger ice we have. At least border control is pretty good against that. And we want to draw into a fast track. The deck could consider also having digital rights management. I kind of like mouseless on their mode because we're probably going to get 3 advancements on it, and that is a bit harder to deal with than Hordem. Do we end up fast tracking for an agenda? Oh, it might be a Maven list. Yo, Diogene. Yeah, I guess it could be. Proco. Okay, that's good. With the second technical writer. So our window, their economy is going to keep up with them. We are in a bad spot. Wall to wall is actually really awkward in this list because if you put advancements on cards, you can't SSO them because SSO only puts on a card without advancements, kind of similar to the new built to last. So this is toilet. I feel like we should have consulting visit for a fast track at this point, but we have 3 in the list, so that feels bad. This on the remote seems really strong. It's just we don't have money, like we don't have mass comms, like we have no burst economy in the deck besides too big to fail. Okay, this is not good. Fast track the government, take over casting call and dare them. I think that's right, but then we don't have the consulting visit for the punitive, which is kind of necessary. But yeah, the government takeover would be a really big deal. The problem is also we don't have the credits to advance the government takeover. Yeah, it's very difficult if we don't have the money and we don't have mass comms. Like I don't even understand how we're gonna fast advance out an agenda. Or not fast advance, like manually advance out an agenda. Because we can't res, we have to pay to res this ice. I'm mostly memeing. None of our ice is free other than Orion. No, Orion isn't free unless we do government takeover. None of our ice is free. Yeah, this is really bad. Doing this into a hyperdrive turn seems a bit dodgy, and this also costs us 2 credits. I think we're gonna do it though, because we have to do something. And I think we're gonna go for the City Works project, because I'm not brave enough to do. No, we'll do the SDS. They'll be more likely to be interested in the SDS. Oh, we didn't res wall to wall. That's on us. We would have returned that to hand. That is actually really bad. That is a huge misplay because we could have resed it for free, drawn another card, so we didn't have to fast track it. That's a very bad. Why did you not wall to wall? I totally forgot Bloom. Yo, Lunel, how's it going? Shen says, I'm sad to see Haley rotate. She's the most fun shaper by far. Maven builds are so fun. Yeah, she is. The problem with her is she's very, very good and very, very, very flexible. To the point where it's really hard to do anything else. I do like the idea that she makes you consider your turn a bit more. And also she encourages you to install a lot of cards, which is really good for a lot of jank builds that suffer at like, oh, I want to play this combo of these 4 cards. But then by the time you installed all of them, like you've lost the game. I think that's a big deal. But yeah, I think she's a bit too good. We scored out with Red Planet Couriers. That is true. Yeah, so this looks like a grappling hook list, Kongomata Gabali. So that makes a lot of sense. They might actually be on Tech Writer as well. And they're not pressured to run this, which I think they're totally right. Wait, oh, this doesn't work? Wait, why doesn't this work? When your turn ends? Oh, it's when your turn ends. Ooh. Of course, that's way better. Okay. So again, even how good, this is the best we have on the remote right now is Excalibur into border control. I think we could have gone for government takeover. Oh, this is Maven. Oh, maybe this is right. Maybe this is Maven because of the E3. Net chip too? Yeah, this does look like Maven. I think you're right. The net chip doesn't make sense with Kongamato. Yeah. It really looks exactly like some of the most popular. Yeah, well, it is, I think. Okay, well, I guess we can double advance this and then too big to fail. Getting 3 advancements on this is okay, I guess. Now, actually, this on Maven's really nice because it's 8 strength. It's going to be difficult for them. But I'm pretty sure we have to do this. Yeah, fuck it. Let's zoom out. So this is 6. This is 7, 8, 9, 10. That's awkward. Should have thought that about. Advanced Whoredom stuffs Maven. Oh, that's a good point too. That's a really good point. Oh, that's a way good point. Yeah, they'd have to pull out their Ngolo. If we see Data Sucker might be my version. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Andre, I'm so excited for Lou. My favorite Anarch archetype is just I'm gonna rip up your board, and he looks like he's gonna be great for that. He looks perfect for that. Foley, first time catching the stream live. Can't wait for the chat and spoilers. Yo, me too. Welcome to the stream. Part of the cards for punitive after getting the takeover stolen. It's like 1 punitive, 2 consulting. And even in really bad scenarios, you can do like archive memories for consulting, but like obviously that's garbage. It'll be good for R&D too. Yeah, they're like, we're not going to punitive them. Like they have a lot of credits. Oh, Jesus. I'm terrified. Maybe they will never know. If we just like play it cool. This is such a bad turn. Oh man, it's such a bad turn there. I did not plan anything, right? Because we wanted to, in theory, have the 10 credits for this. HQ pressure doesn't seem like a thing, and like hopefully we end up red plan occurring to this. If we top deck a biotic labor, like we're in a really good spot. Does the Maven list? Whose Maven list has Claude in it? Because they have access to Claude right now. Yo, Ulrich, how's it going? Super nice to catch a stream. Welcome. I finally bought the last few data packs to fully complete my Netrunner collection. So stoked to have them all. Jingles, did you get everything? Or did you get like modern Netrunner? And how did you do it? Okay, we're getting crushed in the corner by resources. That's fine. I'm doing advanced credit. You have everything. How did you do that? Haley always has a clot. We played a Haley a couple days ago. We didn't have a clot. We played like we did. Yeah, clot's gonna be a really big problem for Red Planet. At least if we can end up like putting all the counters on like a CityWorks project, and they're gonna struggle to steal it. Like that's kind of neat. But yeah, maybe we'll beat the clot out on a triple advance here is probably wrong. We'll do this one because this one doesn't trash itself. I have no idea where to even find some of the Katara stuff. It's really hard. Lots of eBay and Amazon as well as buying people's collections along the way. Yeah, well done. It's really hard to get hold of all that stuff. It's very, very difficult. Reign of Reverie specifically is absolutely impossible to find. I also have everything and no one to play with back to Jinteki. Oh, Ulrich, it'll change in time. Just never advance to take over next turn and win? I think that's the right play. I think that is the right play. I think there's an alt project for Katara as it's tough to get. Really? That'd be really cool. I think you're right. We do never advance the government. Like we just do advance, install. We also only have 5 more agendas than 31. So like the chance of us losing to a lot of, I don't know, like a lot of indexings is kind of rare. I think Dan B has an alt project for Katara. That'd be really cool. I'm gonna buy physical cards for the first time since like 2016 when System Gateway comes out. Yo, I saved a lot of money this year to Netrunner. There's not a lot of cards. Hopefully that changes. They have 1 click. They might be considered running for this. They might just consider running for this. I wish we res the wall-to-wall and returned it from hand, because then it makes this like uninstall naked government takeover play so much more reasonable. Like just bouncing this back to hand was such a big deal, let alone at some points we had 3 or 4 cards in hand with the government takeover. Like it's super important. Okay, so we're gonna score. We can trash something. Their money doesn't matter, so we're probably gonna go for the SMC. I'm gonna go for the SMC on the... I don't think it really matters. All right, guys, play cool. I keep printing my own gateway decks on cardstock. Like, what's released? System Gateway would be the first set Netrunner I bought myself. Yo, that's dope. They might have tried to rush HQ to trash wall to wall. I don't think they really want to, right? Like, they have to respect mass comms to some extent. They're setting up really well. Like they can indexing us to death. I don't think they would go HQ when they want to set up like this. Like they need to install a lot of stuff if they want Maven to be good. Specifically also like we have Like you could expect in this list to have like 5 strength, 6 strength, and 7 strength ice with all the, what is it, asteroid belt. I don't know any of the other cards by name. Oh, they're gonna imp this. Probably feel so safe imping a Red Planet Couriers from hand. Okay. Damn, we're good. Oh, they set up. That's all they wanted to do. They were set up. Play it cool, play it cool, play it cool. Not sweating. Oh my god, got him. Red Planet Couriers is ridiculous. The thing is, like, they probably didn't have respect, especially when they trashed one from hand. But like, if we res the wall to wall, that play looks so much better. Thanks for the game. Oh man. Yo, Phil, how's it going? Welcome. You too. Oh man, we got him. See ya. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Okay, all right. We did it. We nailed it. 4 credits left over, and our deck doesn't have a lot of agendas in it. We have like what, 4 more agendas in here? Fantastic. Deck letting us get to spoiler chat sooner. I know. We've had actually for all the weeks, okay, this week and last week, where we've really wanted to be excited. We were really excited to get to the new section. It's been really good games. Does Cheese rotating system gateway? No, Cheese is pretty eternal. Yeah, Cheese is eternal. No one expects the government to take over. Yo, Matt, how's it going? Conduit. All right, let's talk about some stuff. Firstly, I talked about it a second ago. For those who are new to the chat, you might be seeing this on Twitch. There's a Twitch extension that a metamate, his name is Remy, has built. You can see it if you're watching on Twitch. It's called Keyhole. If you're watching on not on mobile, and it'll show you the deck list that we're playing. You can click on any of the cards. If you highlight any of the cards, you see the full card text. If you click on the deck list, it opens up in Netrunner DB. Same for any of the cards. For new players, this is amazing. You can grab it on Twitch. Sanjay, grab it on Twitch, man. It's so good. And you just put in the Netrunner DB code and you're off to the races. Again, this is new. It has been published as of 2 days. So if you have any problems with this, hit up. If there's any, like, you want to make suggestions, if there's any issues, email keyhole.extension@gmail.com, to hit Remy up. He's a student. He's doing this on the side. I've been working with him for a couple weeks. He's put this together. 10 out of 10. I'm so stoked, especially because new players is super important. Yeah, yo, chat. If you're just as happy as I am, this is sick. If you're watching on Twitch, click on the button. It'll show you the deck list. Amazing. Amazing extension thanks to the rec. I'm always hovering over video. Exactly. Me too. Like I've watched Hearthstone online. I can hover over cards and see everything. This is like the next best thing. Yo, Spray. Yeah, Spray, you stream too. This is going to be fantastic. Seriously, check it out. If you have any problems, email that, and then Remy can work on it whenever it makes sense for him, hopefully. Send him a coffee or kind words or a job offer. You figure it out. He's a student. Okay. Yo, Grandpa Taylor, how's it going? 10 out of 10. Really stoked. Okay, let's talk about another thing. And this is really big deal for next week. The Gateway Opens was the article where they talked about all the content that has been coming out this week on nisei.net. Now, firstly, I want to say we are here. Every day, Nisei has been releasing 1 or 2 articles with spoilers, with fiction. They've also like been going back and like updating the hyperlinks on their stuff. It's been so good. Like the fact that any release, nobody has a support this good for a release, and this is community members. It's absolutely crazy. So it's been amazing, but one of the big things I want to highlight right now is that this week, which starts next week, is Community Week. And what I can say is that we have spoilers on this channel. So 2 things are happening on this channel. Firstly, I believe on Wednesday, we'll be releasing a pre-recorded video where I will show you what I have to spoil. So that'll be on Wednesday. I think I can say that. It'll be sometime in the week. Maybe it'll be Wednesday. I'm actually not sure. But what I can confirm 100% is Thursday at the regular time as this, maybe even an hour earlier. Sorry, I'm leaving you in the blank. I'll tell you for sure in the video if you watch it. We will be streaming at the same time here, and Nisei has been like so fucking cool that they have given us access to a private Jinteki.net server that will have all the cards. Now, we won't be playing with all the cards because some of the cards will be spoiled by other people throughout the week due stay tuned to all your social medias and all the other channels and all the other people. But we will be playing with all of the system update, which will be revealed as of this weekend or starting as of tomorrow. Well, all the system update cards. We'll be playing with the cards that we've spoiled, and we'll be playing with all the cards that NISEI has spoiled to date. So we will be playing the new cards on JNet. They have automation. It's going to be sick. I'm going to be joined by Pat. We're going to be playing games. I'm super stoked. That'll be our normal stream time next week. So again, spoilers, and then card games with not only the spoilers, but everything that's been spoiled by NISEI and ourselves, and of course, system update. So that is next week. I'm stoked. I got to record a video this weekend for spoilers. It's going to be really, 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 really good. Please skip Deck of the Week for stream. Yeah, we totally will. We definitely will. Unfortunately for whoever's who next week. Maybe we'll get back on the week after. I don't know. But yeah, next week. Okay. So there'll be a video and then will be a stream. I think there are other community content people that are doing similar stuff that have some cool access to the same servers that we do. So do pay attention to other people and figure it out. Can we be these opponents? No, you can't be the opponents because you need to have access to the private server. So it's just going to be me versus Pat. And we'll be playing what we spoil, and we'll be playing some of the IDs that have been spoiled already because nobody is spoiling IDs. All the IDs are known, right? Andre, I'm so excited. Lamil, I'm stoked. It's so great. NISEI has been doing such a fucking good job at all of this stuff, but also like reaching out with the community. Like they said, like, this is what you can do. They built another server. They like, well, they had to do a lot of stuff to get this to work. So there's so many huge shout outs to so many people that have been involved in getting this happen. What if someone could access to that server hypothetically? No, I promised them that that's not how it would happen. If NISEI created by the developers of Spire? No, Eduardo. No, I don't know. No, I don't think so. Can you use the cards we spoil earlier in the week if you want? Phil, that's good to know. Okay. I wanted to avoid using cards spoiled by other people. In fact, I'm not going to use cards spoiled by other people. I'm not even going to talk about them because I want you to go to other channels in which people are spoiling stuff. So Phil in chat from the ShadowNet, they are spoiling some stuff on their podcast. So definitely go check that out. If Phil says, oh, we can use some of their cards, I'll be excited to do that because I don't even know what they are. So hopefully that's really good. Yeah, Sneaky Sly is not an NISEI, no. It'd be cool to see him in action. Yeah, Sneaky Sly is the old stim hack person who is on Slay the Spire. Can we play some new JNet IDs tonight, though, on Reg JNet? We can? Can you? I don't think you can. I don't think they're on there. Are they? I doubt it. This is probably the best spoiler season. Oh, man, it's fantastic. Okay. I hope some of the other community posts are SSUD and Team Covenant. Bloom, me too. I don't know what they are. NISEI, it's a lot of people. Like, I have no doubt NISEI is reaching out to talk to people. Again, it's like a huge set. There's like 73 cards. That's a lot. We've seen like what? 10, 9, maybe? Maybe? This is the only LCG TCG I've ever played, been involved with that's community interaction saying, oh, it's so good. It's so good. And tomorrow we're seeing the whole System Update 2021. This is such a big deal. And let me tell you, what is in System Update 2021? That's cool. That's important. What isn't in System Update 2021? That's way more important. So like, I don't know how NISEI is going to do it. They're going to show you what's in System 8 Update, but then understanding what's not in System Update, pay attention to that because I think that's a bigger deal. I thought LCGs were a great model, but DCGs are even better. Sanji, what's a DCG? Deck? I don't know. Digital? Digital, right? Didn't know you could play with new ones. Yeah, we can play whatever we want. That's been spoiled officially or by us, so it'll be cool. Been playing Tau, PD, Jailbreak, and Pants are live too. I did not know that. Okay, wow, that's actually really cool. They said they're putting spoiled up cards end of each week. Frank, I had no clue. Okay, that's kind of cool. Plans to put whatever spoiled up. Awesome. Hey, I quit this game since 2014 and want to come back. Should I wait for the System Gateway to come out first? May Holy Wing, welcome back. Sort of. Like, you can hop on Jinteki.net and just play stuff. Everything's on there, and the web client is, like, fantastic. Specifically, System Gateway launches in, 2 weeks or something, 2 and 3 weeks. And this is fantastic. On this date, around there, the cards, well, on that date, they'll be on Jinteki.net, so you can play them. They'll have pre-made decks for new players, or players who are coming back, I suppose. So they solve all that for you, and you don't have to worry about it. But this is like the best entry product Netrunner has ever had. It's way better than core sets. Like, this is a very focused product. Yes, in short, yes. Have we talked about the trace changes? Power Guide. No, we're going to get to that. Japanese sunglasses deer. Lol. Lol. Oh, dead card game. I get it. Very good. Stimhack gets rotated though? It looks like it, doesn't it? Tao's freaking fun. Tao looks so good. Yo, Frank, how's it going? TC have played a couple of games on their daily streams, but they seem pretty hesitant. Oh, Team Covenant. Best dead card game. Okay, I've watched a bit. I got into Sky Terror this week. And Team Covenant does some of that. Okay, let's go through some other news. Sorry, this is going to go away from NISEI, but then we'll get back to NISEI. I released this video a couple days ago, and the like response to this has been the best compared to any other video I've ever put out, which is really nice. That's fantastic. Shout outs to Exa and Koran who sent this stuff over. Hopefully you'll like this content. It looks like y'all do. There's a lot of responses I need to get back to. I'm just gonna respond to a lot of the responses all at once here if I can. Firstly, yes, we'll be doing this for System Gateway. We will be looking at replays of System Gateway and trying to present things as if you're a new player to be able to get back to be able to improve your play of the game and hopefully like elevate your understanding of the game. 100% we're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing that for every single faction. We're going to be making deck lists on this channel and publishing them we're going to be publishing them for just like System Gateway. And then there's another format that NISEI supports, which is like System Gateway plus the last cycle plus System Update. We'll be publishing fundamental deck lists for all of that. We'll be doing it. It's going to be a lot of work. We're also going to be doing card reviews. We'll do all of that, obviously, starting like April, right? Because this comes out at the end of March. So yes, I hear you loud and clear. I'm really happy that this resonated so well. I think I could do a better job. There was like a Reddit post where somebody gave me some really good feedback talking about certain things and certain decisions. And I just want to say, I think that I didn't do the best job with a lot of this stuff when it came to explaining the game. Real quick sideline, if you haven't watched this video yet, this might not make entire sense, but one of the big things that I didn't explain with this game that I wish I did is like looking at each opponent, how are they getting closer to winning the game? Like what is their game plan? And Exa, who's actually in chat right now, my favorite video you've done, yo, cheers. Thanks for submitting again. When it comes to that, one of the biggest things that we haven't talked about is like how Exa could have planned to win this game. And there's some big issues. And like, I think we focused on the idea that putting on pressure and forcing the corp to res ice was really important. And it is, because it is. But a big reason for that is because HQ pressure specifically is about making sure that the corp isn't comfortable and doesn't have the money and time to score agendas. So the idea is if the criminal starts hammering remote servers, making them spend ice, spending money to res ice, then the agendas bunch up in HQ and then HQ pressure gets better. And I think that's a really key point that I didn't communicate too well in this video. And that will kind of help you also understand why face checking is so important in this matchup. Because as soon as Koran has a remote server to jam agendas in, they won't stand in HQ. And then things like Sneak Their Beta, HQ interface, and Gabe don't do a lot. So we'll get back to that. But anyways, I hear you loud and clear. We'll be making more content like this, and I'm really stoked to do. We need to get a deck list visible in replay. Would have got that weirdness sooner. Yeah, the fact that the density also did not favor HQ pressure, unfortunately. But that is what it is. Okay, I don't even know what card is legal and not legal now. Ooh, that's a good question. We can get to that in a second. The Jinglist, your fundamentals. I'm glad you liked it. I think a legal corp deck would have helped show your thoughts more though. Yeah, it does help a bit, but also it's good to point it out when it gets wrong. I didn't know that recording the video until the end. I hope that was obvious. And I was like, oh, whoops. I really liked about the video was that it was less about how to play, but it's more about how you think while you play. Yeah, like explaining the rules is one thing, but then explaining how to work with the rules. Okay, let's talk about some other news. This is the new nisei.net website. This was updated as of today. This is really nice. I need to know what font this is. I really like this font. NISEI got a lot of feedback over the years about how unclear their website is. It was pretty plain, which I think is fine, but also trying to find information wasn't the easiest. And oh my God, is this so much better? I was just looking through all the tabs here. And for instance, somebody asked, I don't know what cards are legal. So if you go to, what is it? Players supported formats. This is the most unexpected scoop yet. They were talking about doing this, but this is amazing. So you go to supported formats, startup, something we'll talk about, and like, look how nice this is. What cards are legal in startup? Okay. These, what's banned? Nothing. Surprise, but I guess Kayambe Grid's good in this. Standard. Sick. Standard ban list. This is so good. And on top of that, like, okay, what's NISEI about? Okay, I'm gonna go to organizers and I wanna get involved. So let's go see, oh, excuse me, this is maybe the wrong thing. Where do I wanna go? I wanna go to where the players is? No, shit. Yeah, players, and I'm gonna go community. And then it'd be like, okay, I'm in Canada. Okay, and these are a bunch of communities that can hit you up in Canada. Montreal isn't here yet. We've realized we've hopefully rectified that. We've emailed NISEI and we have a blurb to get involved in NISEI. This is really good. This is fine. This is quite nice. Open positions? Oh, sick. Warwick for Nisei. Do get involved. That's amazing. Oh, it's so much better. This is their blog, which, you know, it's way more clear to see what you're reading. There's a little blurb, which is fantastic. It gets some tags, which is nice. I think you can just like sort by tags too, so you can see all the fiction. Anyways, this is huge. This is so cool. I'm so glad that they got this out before they released the product, because this is so much more approachable. Communities page is so nice to find local metas. Yeah, it's fantastic. They have everything you need here. Do we need to do something for the Montreal players, like send out info? Yeah, Frank, we did that today. Pat actually sent in some info to the JNet folk because we realized we weren't represented there, which is a problem. Okay, so that being said, we're gonna go back through everything that was released every morning as it is here in the East Coast and talk about all the changes that have happened and all the news that has come out. All right. Love the site updates. Near Earth Hub is still the GOAT. Yeah, Near Earth Hub, by the way, for new players is also really good. This is also like a nice compilation of like community and game resources. I don't think Nisei has a lot of like external resources attached to their website besides Netrunner DB. I don't even know if they reference Jinteki.net, but this is really good. It has a lot of links to things. There's community, there's how to get cards, which is fantastic. How-to videos, the fundamental video is now there, which is pretty wild. And then other stuff too, which is also really good. Check out nearearthhub.net too. It's a nice resource for sure. Okay. Their podcast postmortem on LCG after the end of 5 rings is really interesting. Oh, Team Covenant. Yeah. Yes, Team Covenant. Andre, the greatest product on Nisei site is the product page on Nisei site is also great research for showing people gateway. Okay. System gateway. Learn, like, this is so nice. System update, new art. What do we think that is? Learn more. What am I feeling right now? Fast facts. This is so good. This shit takes so much work to do and do correctly. And like, this is better than a lot of websites. Like, this kicks ass. Man, so good. Perth meta here, other side of the country, Andrew Jolly. Oh, from Sydney meta. Yeah, right on. I missed that. Okay. Anyways, really, really good. We're going to go through the blog and go through everything in reverse order. I think the day that we left off was here. Okay, let's talk. We have a new Jinteki ID. You also can hide the spoilers. They auto hide, so click to reveal if you don't want to get spoiled. We're going to talk about spoilers, mind you. So if you don't want to talk about spoilers and you want to have this all revealed to you on March 28th, you might want to pop out for a bit. I just guess I'll wait a couple seconds for that to come across, I suppose. All right, restoring humanity. Jinteki, all the IDs are 4015. It is almost all the IDs, I believe, on the corp site are Emilio Rodriguez, who did a lot of the OG art for Netrunner. Specifically, he also did Hyobu Institute in the last release. And it says, when you discard phase ends, if there's a face down card in archives, gain 1 credit and end to suffering. I was also like really concerned because I'm like, wait, why is everything so dark? And then you realize very quickly, almost, I think all the IDs are on the moon. So it makes sense that everything is so dark. This art is fantastic. That like internal waterfall is wonderful. This like gives you the same vibes that you got off of, what's it called? Something servers, dedicated servers or something. No, this is with the dudes, right? Oh no, yeah, like this exact same sort of idea, but this is more on Earth, right? So that reminds me of this. Also, sidetrack. I don't know if y'all noticed this. The sets page on NetRunnerDB is now arranged in reverse chronological order, which is a huge change. This is way better. I don't want to have to scroll to the bottom to get the system gateway. This is so much nicer. Whoever decided just to flip that. Yeah, good. That's fantastic. So my question I had, knowing that they're going to release a Jinteki identity, is whether it was going to be a I'm going to kill you trap identity, or whether it was going to be an economic or like, what do we want to call it? Utility identity. And this one kind of seems to be in the middle of both. I feel like, and it's worth noting, I have since last week warmed up a bit to Built to Last, but this one seems like it seems like it's going to need a lot of card support. The idea is that instead of clicking for credit on a turn, you can always draw once more and overdraw and throw something out, which, like, you know, that's pretty good to get a credit. And then the question is, will the runner want to check archives and flip everything over? Also, again, extra points if you're the Jinteki faction. You have ways to flip cards into archives face down, which we have in faction. I think we have specifically Kakarenbo. Unfortunately, Crick seems to be rotating out. It's fascinating because I don't think we have any really strong archives traps anymore, right? Like, what do we have that you can trap archives with? Like News Team? Space Camp? There's no shock. There's no breach dome. Q rotates. So I don't know what you're putting in archives to make it dangerous besides the fact that it's behind ice and maybe it's annoying. But that's really cool. And this also seems better because we just saw, I think today, more cards that support the idea of throwing out cards, which is really cool. If Subliminal stays, it would be fun. I guess so, but you can clicklessly play Subliminal. Like I don't know if that's actually that much better. Cyberdex? Yeah, Cyberdex is pretty okay. Cyberdex is actually really annoying if you score a sandbox. You're right, because then every time they run it, they gain 4, so they just don't run it. Song Ice on Archives, overwrite Ice on Archives, done. Yeah, if this is what it's going to take for us to finally embrace our overlords with security construct, defense construct, excuse me, then like I'm in. Yeah, let's go, buddy. It's your time to shine. Oh my god, I love the art on this card. Anywho, it's really interesting. It seems cool. It's a mix. It lets you draw harder and then not get rewarded for drawing harder to your deck. We're going to see more cards that just like Phil said, I'm not going to talk about that card just yet, but cards that let you discard cards for value. I imagine that's going to be a pretty Jinteki thing, which is really cool. And then maybe we're going to see traps and archives. I think it's really cool. It gives you like, this is the sort of idea that you're going to think about how to play and like, okay, excuse me. Things like Built to Last, to me, like it just rewards you for doing a good thing. And this, you have to play around it more and gives you more interesting decisions, which I think is really cool. Like at this point, do I want to overdraw, which, you know, has an impact on what's in HQ just to discard a card? Because drawing last click is generally not a good thing you want to do. So I'm fascinated to see what this is, because this lands in the middle between like cool face down traps that a lot of Jinteki players love and economy. So it's good. News team, if it doesn't rotate, yo, Artem. Yeah, news team shouldn't rotate. It's in Data and Destiny. It should be around for a while, at least like 2 more years if nothing changes. Given the theme of these sets, seems some lunar, some sort of breach dome on the moon could be possible. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense for the theme. Value discards is probably where we're going. Yeah, right? And Invader, I think that seems okay too. I much prefer Built to Last over this. I've warmed up a bit to Built to Last, but this at least is more interesting to me. Like the mind space of how to operate this, I think is a lot more interesting than like, I guess I'm going to advance my cards now. Could Shock get reprinted? Bitterness? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Probably. Maybe. There's very little archives traps that are relevant after, what's the last one? Q rotated? We don't have Breach Dome or Shock, so who knows? We'll find out soon. Yeah, cool. They mentioned Cyberdeck Sandbox. Good stuff. They also mentioned some cards we haven't seen. Hasty Relocation, mind you, is a card that trashes cards. These are links to Netrunner DB. Oh, god damn it, NISEI, you spoil us. But stuff like this is cool. The other what's it called? The recycling card, genotyping. There you go. Kakurenbu also seems to be a big deal. Are we all just saying Kakurenbu's the new Mushin no Shin? Because Mushin no Shin rotates. Is this our new Mushin no Shin? Because this is a lot worse than Mushin no Shin. Not that I'm complaining, but this isn't Mushin no Shin, is it? Triple is so rough. Triple is absolutely so rough, because I think one of the big things about Mushin no Shin is that you can play multiple traps or even advance something up to 4, and this doesn't do that. That being said, we'll get back to this in a second, because I think trap at Jinteki got way stronger. Yeah, it's not triple advance. Yeah, and Mushin, you could do Mushin advance, which is like, you know, let's go. Let's go. Anyways, I think that's fascinating. I'm into this. I want to see what people are doing with this. I don't think I read the fiction on this one. I need to get back. I missed that one. Save Mushin? No. Jank, what's up? Okay, so we saw the name of this originally. I saw the name of this, René Lu Arsman, which is a French name. Oh, cool. I'm like, it's a French runner, and then it turns out he's a wolf, and I'm really into that. I think this looks so fun. I'm really big into the art. For those who don't know, Lu is French for wolf. And it makes a lot of sense. Party Animal is also really fun. Run Wild is such a cool reference, but basically a 40-15. One of my favorite things is, I don't know whether it is because my phone knows where I live, which is in French Canada, but if you write Lu into phone, it gives you the autocomplete option for the wolf emote. So all the discussion, at least I've been having about this in our Slack, is just the wolf emote, and that's 10 out of 10. Yo, Kat, how's it going? How's it going? You're mentioned in this article, I'm pretty sure. 3 imp, let's go. Yeah, Gmod. So for those who are new to the game who might not understand this Run Wild, or the fact that our boy here is a wolf, let's talk about Wildside. I spelled that wrong. So Wildside was an original OG Netrunner card. an Android Netrunner, and it was honestly at some points a very, very powerful card, and it's just a nightclub, and that's all we really knew about it. We knew Noise liked to hang out there, which made sense, but then you start paying attention, you see some things are a bit different. This person on the left looks like a cat. This person seems to have horns. And then you find out throughout the lore and everything, a couple things. Firstly, Wildside is on the moon, and Wildside is a club for Gmod people, genetically modified people, and a lot of these people change themselves and morph themselves into animals. If you read the fiction that comes, and the fiction for this is actually quite good because it shows what this dude is about, and it's like a really compassionate dude and a compassionate piece, considering like party animal, kind of like that was surprising. They also go ahead and called Edward Kim a himbo for some reason, which was fun. But yeah, I would definitely recommend reading the what's it called? The fiction piece. If you read the fiction piece, it also like suggests that certain cards that we're going to be seeing. I think it suggests that, I don't know if the image is on the bottom of this. I think on the image of the fiction itself, you see like some Wayland looking ice that I think Kat actually drew. Some sort of blade that looks like it trashes programs. It looks like Renee is also going to be getting a fractor that is a knife, like a butcher's knife, a cleaver. It also looks like his console is some sort of maw looking wolf jaw, which is really exciting. We haven't even talked about his ability. It's a furry nightclub. Yeah, exactly. And you read his story. Oh my God. And my favorite thing about the furry nightclub thing is, what's his name? Fenris, right? Like DJ Fenris, the name suggests wolf. And if you pay attention to, you won't see it really well in this low art, the low res art here. He actually has fangs. The wolf tattoo is really good. But the idea is that he is the DJ at Wildside, which makes sense. He plays to the wild Gmod furry-esque crowd. And the idea that in your deck, you can play DJ Fenris, and DJ Fenris says, yeah, I can help you. I got a friend. And then his friend shows up, and it is your wolf boy from Party City. Fucking 10 out of 10. Oh, so good. Speaking of MTL Slack, there's no Montreal. Yeah, Sads, we sent something in today to fix that. We did fix that hopefully today. It'll be updated soon. I never caught on to this. Oh yeah, no, it's huge. It's so good. Have you talked to NISEI mentioned why IDs seem to all be 40 card decks? I feel like NISEI has. I think 40 card decks make a lot of sense because the product can be smaller and more elegant. A lot of times for the Netrunner teaching decks that even FFG had at some point in time, they weren't full decks. They might even have been 30 to 35 cards. I don't think the size of the deck really changes the experience of Netrunner in a meaningful way. And this is much more manageable when it comes to like how many cards you need to know. And then your decks are also more consistent. I think it's just ease. So that's cool. We haven't even talked about his ability. 40-15, again, like everything else, he's the first card in the whole pack. The first time each turn you trash a card you're accessing, gain a credit and draw a card. That's good. It looks like they've confirmed Imp is going to be around to stay. He's going to be ripping stuff up pretty a lot, which is really cool. It's so cool to see that Imp has become more of a core Anarch card than almost anything else over the last couple of years. It's just been like very quintessentially Anarch. We've seen it do so much work over the last like competitive year, and it looks like Renee is going to want to probably run 3 of them. There's also some like weird synergies with things like by any means replacing the damage he takes. But it's good. It's very Anarch and very fun. I'm really excited to play this. Like a thin Anarch deck that lets you draw through it by just ripping stuff up. So good. This is the guy who plays 107 size decks. I tried to build a 40 card deck for the stream next week, and it is very difficult for me, and I don't know what to do about it. The imp art is so dope. The imp art's really good. I had no idea how much lore there was. The links, there's so much lore. By the way, read all of the fiction, not only because they're quite nice, but they do give you a lot of references to the cards that are coming up. And if you want like spoilers and then you want to kind of like, you know, figure out what it is. Gateway being an intro set makes it more simple. It's not simple, but it doesn't tend to make things shorter. Not in the way June was talking about earlier. Oh, Lori, in terms of like length of games. Let's pull an Ed and make a 45 card deck regardless of min deck size. Oh, yeah, that's fine too. Wolves love Friday chimps. Yeah, man. Wolves love Nob Curie in theory. I don't know. I imagine his console works well with him. We'll figure it out. Mr. Bitterness, the Android world and overall lore is really great. It really is. It's really nice. I'm a big fan. I think there are some references to some cards that we don't know. Maybe I'm missing them because they're not highlighted it. But it also looks like Limes is going to be previewing Lou's signature hardware. So check that out. That'll be next week. And that's probably the console, right? I'm assuming. Anyways, I'm really stoked for this. Also, like, for someone who has shoulder hair, I'm glad we're normalizing it in this way. This is fantastic. I feel very powerful now. All right, let's go. Read the fiction. The fiction, like, considering if you just look at this guy and it's called Party Animal and Anarchy Trashes Things, and then you read the fiction and he's actually like a really compassionate dude, it changes it. It's really good. Okay, click to reveal. Is that a Stargate? No, probably not. But this is Hasbiroid Precision Design 4015, again, like everything else. And it combines some really strong effects. You get +1 maximum hand size, just a hint of cerebral imaging. Whenever you score an agenda, you may add 1 card from archives to HQ. This is the first time I thought shoulder hair looked cool. It looks really good. This is wild. I think this is the straight out most like competitive identity that they've shown so far. Just because if you put this in the standard format today, I think you can make something pretty busted, right? I think you can make something super busted. Like 6 hand size, mind you, hand size is going to be like an HB thing that struggles a lot. Like we see acid decks that are playing fully operational, drawing 9, no problem. Violet level clearance, no problem, right? Like all that stuff is going to be an issue when we lose what it's called, Cybernetics Court. You know, the 0/5 acid that gives you +4 hand size, that rotates. That's in Sansan, mind you, right? Right? Wait, that sounds like it could be in Mumbad. No, it says cybernetics on it. Of course it's in Sansan. Yeah, anyways, that seems really strong. And then the idea that you can do combo pieces, like you can, in a Titan-esque way, that you can fast advance a card but not have to actually spend the piece on it is incredible. Like, they talk about the combo too, right? Like dedication ceremony, reconstruction contract. Okay. So dedication ceremony, we'll start with reconstruction contract. You install this, maybe you even install this clicklessly with red level clearance. You go ahead and dedicate it to put 3 advancements on it. You install a Vitruvius, you'd advance it once, and then clicklessly you move the advancement counters that you just dedicated on here onto the Vitruvius. Okay. Now you score it. You have 1 Vitruvius counter that lets you recur anything from your archives, and then you can pull back probably the dedication ceremony because it can't get trashed from hand, and you're off to the races. You mean this card's gonna get banned? I don't know. I don't think it's gonna get banned. It's definitely really strong. What's really fascinating too is that like we know that the Anarch is specifically dealing with destruction. Decks like this and decks like Titan Transnational also, how strong they are is very dependent on what central pressure looks like, what economic pressure looks like. But if you leave this thing alone, it can score out of hand like nobody's business and not have to pay a lot of opportunity cost for doing it. Like seems really good. It's strong and it's a little more balanced by team sponsorship rotating. Yeah, the thing is like, I don't think a lot of those decks, like Titan Transnational doesn't play cards like team sponsorship. If you have the avenue to just score cards out of hand, and again, plus hand side, you can play Violet level clearance. Like you can do some of the goofy draw stuff. I think you just go. You can also like restore endlessly if you really need to. You could play restore for the dedication ceremony, then you dedicate it, and then, I don't know. It seems really good. Andre doesn't like BTL. Yeah, if Trickle Light makes it to system update, BTL seems a bit better. How often does score happen in a game? 2, 3, 4, 5? Maybe we'll have the right tool to bring back every time it's good. It's not busted. Yeah, the thing is like why I think people are a bit averse to this in the power level is they see a bit of CI, which, you know, makes you go, oh, I don't know. This is my Netrunner. And then you see this ability. And like, sure, I agree. How many times do you score in agendas? But like Titan Transnational, how many times do you score in Atlas? And yet still, I think that's one of the most competitive identities consistently over the last, like, what, 5 years, 4 years. I'm going to make up a number. I honestly don't know. But yeah, we'll wait and see, because we don't know what support this gets. We don't know what support it hated gets. We don't know what fast advance hate looks like. But this is a flexible identity, and I think if you just ice up centrals and score from hand, you do have a good game plan. I think you could make a competitive deck out of this today with nothing else necessary from System Gateway. And just to talk about it, like if you haven't seen this combo, it almost won, what, Euros last? They won Euros 2 years ago or something? Dedication ceremony. Dedication ceremony. Go away, last pass. Stop it. Dedication ceremony. Everything's dedication. Okay, hold on. Maybe if I zoom out. I don't know how bad this looks. Dedication ceremony? Shit. Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there. Vitruvius. Vitruvius. Right? Like, there's really competitive decks here. It's the best Corp ID for sure. It might be. It might just be. First at 2019 NISEI Worlds. Okay, this is the one I was thinking of. Yeah. So it won Worlds. That's the combo. Seems good. Single reconstruction contract, mind you, because they had executive boot camp to pull it, and this is very high on influence, and dedication ceremony. And then you have other options, biotic. You could play violet level clearance in this deck because you don't care about hand size. Anyways, the base pieces for this list exist, and this could be a very competitive identity immediately when it released. How it works within System Gateway, it's probably not super oppressive, but like this card needs no support is what I'm trying to say. So we know it's probably very good. All the other cards I've seen have the potential of being very good, but obviously are going to require the other cards in System Gateway. Just on paper, there's a very noticeable power level difference between all the IDs they have previewed. Do you think so? What do you think is the most powerful identity they've revealed? I think combo should exist in Netrunner. Cat, yes, 100%. It's very important that combo decks exist. It really is. Like, what is it? What do people say? There's like a triangle between most card games where it's like aggro, combo, control, and it's a rock, paper, scissors. And if one of them doesn't exist, like it over evaluates the other corners of the triangle, or whatever a reduction we want to reduce that to. I'm not averse to combo. Did Strim die? Talaris, I don't think so. It's okay. Dumbbrick, Titan is so powerful because one Atlas gets the next. The fact that completely bypass R&D lock is super busted. Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm aware of that. Like Atlas on its own is a better effect than Vitruvius, but you can like do some pretty wild stuff too to break R&D lock with this. Like red level clearance is very good. Violet level clearance can get you there. I don't know whether you can combo in like fast track rotates too, which is interesting. So we'll see. Okay, let's keep going. No lore? There was no lore for this one. All right, here we go. The value versatility, ooh, criminal. 40, 15, one of my favorite things that NISEI does with all of their releases is they tell you how to say the goddamn name. This is so, every game should do that. Why don't they do that? Tell me how to say the word. You chose the word. I don't know how to say the word. Tell me how to say the word. 10 out of 10. Anyways, this is Zahia. Zaya Sadeghi. I wish I knew how to pronounce the last name. We got pretty far there, I guess. She's a new criminal, a versatile smuggler, some reference to Breaking Bad or something I haven't seen. Versatile smuggler, fantastic look. When you run, whenever run an HQ and R&D ends, you may gain a credit for each time you access a card during that run. Use this ability once per turn. I obtain your desire. Oh man. Non-Americans say Zed though. I hope so. I remember people not knowing how to pronounce Sift. What? Oh, Cipher? Cipher. I forget. I looked it up at some point. Character design's fantastic. The lore for this is also really funny. And again, it's the sort of thing where if you pay attention to it, I think you can have an idea of some of the cards. I think there's a hint that their console is up their sleeve, which is so fun. +1 pronunciation aids, +5 when Andre pronounces Lu. Lu. It's not amazing. I'm not actually a francophone as much as I can try to be. Are there any other games that allow you to play as one Muslim woman, let alone two? It's a good question. Zaya Anakam, let's go. Oh, now I'm worried I'm saying Anakam wrong again. Okay, let's talk about this. Gabriel Santiago rotates. Gabriel Santiago is not very flexible. Gain 2 credits when you run HQ. Now, she is different. She can gain you credits equal to the amount of cards that you've accessed. Now, what is the upper end of that? Turning wheel? Turning wheel could be a very, very big. We don't know whether medium is going to stay from salvage memories into system update, maybe. But that's also really big. It also then gives you credits back for things like legwork and or R&D interface. But do you know what I think one of the best cards revealed so far is? Hades Shard does, well, Hades Shard rotated, so I guess an Eternal. I think Jailbreak's an incredible card. I think this is so easy to be a 3 of in so many decks. You run HQ and R&D, draw a card, gain 2 credits, see 2 cards. That's like a lot. That's a lot in a 0 credit, 0 influence card. Run HQ and R&D, gain 2 credits, draw a card. It's like you're doing literally everything on Deuces Wild. Oh man. I'm so stoked for this. Like if they don't ice up, that's what's cool about her too, right? Like if any central is in theory pressure. So if they don't ice R&D turn 1, like that's a really good play. 2 credits, draw a card. You see their 2 cards. So good. So good. And then on top of it, you can build into this. Multi-access becomes profitable if you can set that up. Again, I don't know if the interfaces are going to be around forever, but something like that would be very nice. And she just makes runs cheaper. She's just going to make runs cheaper, 1 credit cheaper. It's kind of like a built-in Desperado to some extent. You also have a bit of flexibility. You can only use it once per run, which means it doesn't have to be the first time if you're building up like medium counters or something like that. I don't think she's very flashy, but I think it's a lot of value, right? Like a fair bit of value, and you definitely want multi-access in there, whether you want on turning wheel or what have you. Meanwhile, Blueberry Diesel, oh no. Maker's Eye is good. The thing about those cards is like you don't make money, but you get your value of your money, and maybe you can play those cards cheaper with like, I don't know. Oh, I guess all that stuff rotates too. Yeah, Artem, I'm really excited about this one too. This one I think is very easy to make something and then see the benefit of it. 40 also is really strong. I think one thing that you can do with this list also is like make very cheap runs. I don't know exactly how you do that. I think stealth might even be a consideration. You have a smaller deck, so like getting your cards onto the table in the right order might not be impossible. And we have good stealth cards in Criminal. Like we access HQ, install your 4 credits worth of stealth cards. I don't know. I think it's quite okay. I'm into this. If you can run cheaply, it's really good. Really good. John Masanori's sign of approval. Yeah, I don't know if he survives though. I don't know if John Masanori's gonna be around forever, considering they printed DreamNet, and DreamNet kind of invalidates John Masanori. How does each time work out? Basically for each card you access. She also punishes the upgrades on centrals, which is really fun, or specifically the 2 centrals, right? Because if you run HQ, and it doesn't care about successful runs, so if they install a Crisium, you're laughing. One thing that is worth noting though about this ability is you gain an after the run, right? So it's whenever run ends, as opposed to things like Desperado classically, where you gain the credits before you access. So it's similar to, you know, like Dirty Laundry, which does mean that you don't get the credits to be able to interact with them if you need trash cards. But Zaya versus Mwanza, Jessica, yes, like 100%. It's going to be really fun. She seems really close to top tier Crim. I want to see if the deck size restriction, like how big of a deal that is, but I don't know. Leela's not in. 419 does put on a lot of economic pressure, as is a couple support cards away from being very strong, but she's definitely very quite good. Yeah, Sneak Door is fine too, right? Like you get Sneak Door, you gain a credit. It puts pressure on all centrals. I'm stoked. Yeah, it should work with Sneak Door because whenever you make the run, it's considered a successful run on HQ. So anything that cares about HQ runs generally fires. They also reference a couple cards, I believe. They talk about Hot Pursuit, which is a tag me card. They talk about Fear the Masses, which is hilarious. She's a good rebirth target. Yeah, she's a fine rebirth target. She'll give you more value in the later game. A lot of the ideas we've seen so far are actually really strong rebirth targets, let alone even for our boy in the Anarch suite can also be DJ Fenride. They talk about Dockland's Pass and Red Team. These are new cards. Tread Lightly is a new card. I'm excited to see what this stuff is. Turning wheel works on Sneak Door, right? You can dump the turning wheel counters and you can get the turning wheel counters. Yes. Yes to both. Precision design feels a step above all the other corp ideas. Lou a step below the other runners. I think Lou isn't as bad as he looks. I think Lou encourages you to do a thing that's actually very disruptive. Yeah, pure land paper. Yeah, no, that's fair. And also, again, it depends what cards they come with. Just evaluating their ID in standard is such a difference than evaluating them with all the card support they're going to get. I'm excited for this. You can also tell there's about 8 other Anarch cards, it looks like, in the pack, based off these numbers on the bottom. Oh, there's also something that exists that I want to point out because it is fascinating. Yeah, check this out. So this is something that happened in the original Netrunner core set, and they didn't do it in the revised core set. You see these dots at the bottom? These dots mean that this is the quantity of the card that will be in your starter deck. So that means that the starter decks are going to have 3 copies of Jailbreak. And that's really cool. I don't know if it ever said that in the manual of Netrunner, but that was a thing that existed. It could tell you the quantity. So you'd see like StimHack has like a single dot on it or whatever back in the day. I think that's really cool. I don't see why you wouldn't do that. Hopefully people don't think that's influence for some reason. The background templating on runner IDs is great. Yeah, I think it's a way better. It feels way better than the other ones that NISEI's released. I like the backgrounds a fair bit. Okay. All right, this is a new format. I think this is an interesting format. We also get some wall of static looking art here. I think this is really fun. And it's basically a new format. It's called Startup. I think this format kind of existed already, but it had a different name. But it's basically System Gateway, System Update 2021, and the most recent NISEI set, which would be Ashes. I think this is super approachable as a format because, again, it's all print and play. And you can all get it online without having to proxy anything from Make Playing cards or drive-through cards. This is fantastic. I'm really excited to see if this format kicks off. I doubt it'll be more popular than standard, considering I don't know, there's more cards, I guess, but that's really great. Cat, I'm not sure Lu is worse than Hoshiko. I think they're very comparable, and I feel like Hoshiko is just like good no matter what the matchup. But the trashing on Lu is like very dependent on the tools that he gets. Lu's kind of hot, not gonna lie. Lu is a big beefy wolf. Lu loves to play hairy shouldered ripped dude who thinks he's wolf so he can live in slightly less power. The fact that they made a wolf man and then they let him live on the moon is the funniest thing. That they put the Wolfman, they're like, do you know where the Wolfman goes? On the moon. That's what the future that we've been building towards with all the science is, that we can get the Wolfman not out looking at the moon, but on the moon. God, the future's sick. Okay, tag team. Modded was the name. Yes, thank you. Modded was the name of the old format. Okay. NBN Reality Plus. Again, Emilio Rodriguez doing a really great job with the art, especially if you understand what this art is, or if you read the flavor, the fiction that comes with it, actually it's really great. NBN Reality Plus, again, 4015. The first time each turn the runner takes a tag, give 2 credits or draw 2 cards. Why settle for real? So if you haven't read the fiction, and the fiction, mind you, is like really, what's the proper word? Striking? Like I was reading it, I didn't know where it was going, and then it happened, and then it was kind of pretty heavy. In short, it looks like the residences on the moon, especially for residential residents, look like shit and are pretty dreary and oppressive because building in space is probably fundamentally kind of difficult. And then these sort of towers do an augmented reality projection for the people living in the neighborhood to make things look very pleasant. I'm imagining that sort of like, 1950s faux white America, aesthetic. And then this fiction explores that, but that's basically what Reality Plus is doing. It's this augmented reality on top of, the probably very brutalist garbage on the moon. So this says, draw 2 cards or gain 2 credits whenever runner takes a tag. We'll be talking about tags in a second because another article talks a bit about tags. Mind you, C-Source was originally meant to be in the set and it's not. And so that's changed a fair bit. This one, at face value, I think, again, when it comes again to like being released right now in standard, this one seems the worst out of all the ones so far. That being said, I don't think that means anything because obviously they're going to be printing a shit ton of cards that have the word tag on them in the set. You have no doubt that's going to happen. On top of that, what tags mean in Gateway, let alone in new standard format, is kind of up in the air. When I think of a tag, what a tag means, like, okay, Scorched Earth exists now, but like, does tag mean closed accounts? Does tag mean all seeing eye? Does tag mean exchange of information? We might not know. Again, maybe in 2 days we'll know when they say the new system update. That's really important to understand. And then what does a tag mean in here? Have we got to the point where a single tag is floatable? Have we got to that point? Probably not. Resources are nice, I guess. But this is really interesting. Also, the idea that if you're doing a tag-based combo, that you can give a tag and then draw 2 cards and hope for something really cool seems really fun. But this card is only as good as every card that can give the runner a tag, and we don't know what that is. What do we have right now that gives tags indiscriminately? Data Raven, still going to probably be a good card if it's still around, and AR Enhanced Security, which is a 3-1 agenda, which is going to be a problem if you score that in this. It's going to be a huge problem. Holy shit, it's going to be a problem. How back in NBN ID when they're printing Sansan? Yo, Smart Alec, I honestly don't know if NBN, that's the thing. Okay, with Sansan, you can score an AR Enhanced Security, but I don't know how good Sansan is anymore. Maybe I'm behind the mind. Hold on. Lu running Imp and Hippo won't be trashing things in every matchup? Is Lu? Yeah, maybe. I love the fact that Lu can hang out with all his animal friends. Draw 2 on an ID as well. Yeah, draw 2 is really interesting. And generally draw cards or draw effects are harder to find in the game than credit effects. That I'd be a lot of times more interested for that. But like a lot of the situations and when you're spending credits to tag the runner, let's talk about C-Source, even though we know we don't have to. The idea is that it recompensates you for spending a lot of money on the tag. Props for a wolf riding a hippo with an imp on his shoulders, wrecking your servers though. Yeah, right? I like it because tags feel mostly a setup for combos without disruption and kill. Yeah, and if that's the case here, that's pretty neat. So like what I'm really excited to see is if they can shift the value of tags and make tags a more tempo-oriented thing, where they don't have oh, you're a tag, you lose the game. It's like, you have a tag, I'm gonna do something ridiculous, but not like, game winning. Something like shoot the moon or whatever. If that's a good reference, probably not. Seems like an interesting idea for Rush. Authenticator gets a solid level up with this. Yeah, Authenticator is another one that does seem a fair bit better. I guess we're boosting our IP blocks, right? I'm so confused as why you think you wouldn't be able to proc lose ability in every matchup. Oh, well, it depends, because some matchups I don't think you're going to be able to get access to centrals as easily, or like could be asset spam. Like I think asset spam is the best case scenario. But if they're like dirtling up with like, you know, quad advanced ISOs on, you know, servers, masscom stuff, it'll probably trigger. Probably just as much as Hoshiko. I think you're right though. Is Data Raven still a thing? We don't know. Snare? Ooh, Snare's cute. We'll see if Snare makes it to system update. I hope it does. Okay. Snare. With the power creep of Econ, drawing a card is very good. Oh my God. So this is a thing, and we're going to get back to this. Sorry that this is all scattered. But one of the coolest things about System Gateway, there is 9 criminal cards. You can't build a legal deck out of 9 criminal cards. 9 times 3. Wait, no, you literally, no, you can't. 27. I can count that far, which means that there's going to be a fair bit of neutral cards. And we've seen one. Jailbreak, which kicks ass. We're going to see another really soon. But anytime any set releases a lot of neutral cards, let alone I believe the neutral cards in this set are going to be very good. It's such a boon to everybody, let alone also like mini factions. And I think that's such a big deal. Fly on the wall? Yeah, fly on the wall is fine. I wonder if this idea is good enough to make tagging itself worth it. Probably. I have no doubt that they have a game plan. Prisec? Oh yeah, Prisec's cute. Gutenberg rotates, Jim, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Gutenberg is just like all of the what are they called? Inventor Ice or Pioneer Ice, they all rotate. 50% off Snare. Oh, I'm way behind on chat. Oh my God, I'm way behind on chat. Psycho seems like a better place for tags than Caesar Scorch. I 100% agree. I think Psycho is exactly where tags should be. Because even 2 tags for Psycho is now like quite fascinating. They get 15 influence, they can make a 40 card deck easy. Sure, but like I have no doubt there's going to be a lot of neutral cards. There has to be. This art is closely resembling the new Jinteki ID art. Eager to see one real card. Eager to see. Well, everything's on the moon, and it's all the same artist, so like it's gonna look similar enough. But I think it's very striking. The colors are very different to me. The purple is quite something. The digital purple. The like chromatic aberration on the fake trees. See, Scorch is some of the most degenerate stuff in the game. HHN is probably better. We'll get to that in a second because we have actually a very reference card to HHN. Anyways. Can't say much about this card because we don't know what a tag is worth, but if the tags can fly freely and have not that much impact as they do in standard, I think I would be excited. Let's just say that. Okay. All right. Okay. This is, read this. Also, these 2 arts are like very similar. I don't know whether that's like an edit just to get more art out here or whether these are actually 2 thematically connected cards. I'm surprised people are so high on Jailbreak. Jailbreak seems good. I don't know. The fact that it replaces itself, it's free and it's like flexible multi-access and no influence. How can that be bad? Ocean Source. Okay. This is an article that June put out. And I think this day was simply labeled design, I think. And they're showing us a couple cards. Neurospike. I forget why is June talking about this one? Neurospike has really good art. It costs 3 credits. It's a Gray Ops operation, which is always a fun space to play about. We'll talk about June's comments on tags. Yeah, BH in a second. Yeah, sorry. And it says, do X net damage where X is equal to the sum of printed agenda points on agendas you scored this turn. I think this is one of the strongest cards we've seen so far. Am I wrong? This is wild. What? Okay. This is a card that's kind of, I don't think that obvious. Maybe I'm underselling everybody about how to play this, right? Because a lot of times people will do install advance and then advance, score out an agenda. Fantastic. So it looks like you need to set this up with some combo with biotic labor or what have you, but I don't think Neurospec had a trace originally. Oh, I did not realize that. Fantastic. But that's not the way you play this, right? So I think I've talked at a length about trap decks when it comes to like this, what people call Jinteki shell game trap decks. The idea is that I'm going to put stuff on the table that doesn't have ice on it. Some of them are going to be horribly detrimental if you run into it, do a lot of damage, net damage, brain damage, anything like that. Some of them might be agendas, and then some are going to be these sort of traps that can really goof you up in a way if you don't interact with them. So again, I don't know if this is going to be in System Gateway. We're going to find out in about 2 days. But Ronin has survived for a really long time. And this is like the basic gambit. Say that I quad advance, I Mushin advance, I Kakurenbo, and next turn continue to advance a card on the table in a Jinteki trap deck. Now there's a couple things it can be. And now you start playing this game of the runner of what is it, right? So let's talk about the scenarios. One of the worst case scenarios, it's a Cerebral Overrider, okay? So there's a 4 advanced card on the table. They decide to run it, and it's a Cerebral Overrider. They take 4 brain damage. Obviously, huge issue. They can't interact with a lot of your deck. Snares kill them. So many problems why that's an issue. That's the worst case scenario, and Cerebral Overrider is an Uprising. So we know that this is a thing that can happen. Junebug is in faction. Again, I don't know if this is going to make it into the system update, but same idea. If you hit this while it has enough advancements on it, it does like 8 net damage. You're going to die. So the question is the 4 advanced card on the table a Junebug or is it an agenda? But then there's other cards in the mix like Ronin. And Ronin is such a big deal because if you don't find out where the Ronins are and they get like, say there's 2 cards on the table with 4 advancements on them, that could be 2 Ronins. And barring tech, barring maybe in a lucky I've had worse, you're going to die. Even they could leave a single Ronin on the table and wait for you to interact with them poorly, where they score out like a sting with a click left, or you hit a snare too late in the turn. And silhouette meta, she rotates Giles, she rotates. This is the problem, right? The idea is that you can't leave advanced cards on the table for too long. Now, the problem is there's only so many Ronins. So let's say we go and do something like we quad advance an Obokata protocol out. We have an Obokata protocol out. It has 4 advancements on it. You're playing Personal Evolution, which again, maybe makes it to system update. Now the runner's in a really, really bad spot. Do they run the Obokata protocol and take 4 damage to steal it and 1 damage on Personal Evolution? Do they do that? And then they have to spend the rest of the turn drawing and hope that you don't get punitive counterstriked? By the way, the real answer is they probably imp this, but do they do that? Because if they don't do that, they think, okay, you're going to score an Obokata, no big deal. Like, whatever. You got 3 points. Good luck scoring out. Horrible economy, Jinteki trap deck. But now you have this thing. I lost it. Oh, we'll find it. We have this thing. So now you advance your Obokata. You score your Obokata. It does 1 net damage because you're playing Personal Evolution. And then you play this and it does 3 net damage. So if they don't find your agendas, you can do 4 net damage. That means every advanced trap, every advanced card has a chance to be Ronin. And Obokata might not even be the best case scenario. What's it called? Show of Force. If you like double advance a Show of Force, you do install advance Show of Force. Even behind ice, you can play some pseudo weird Glacier deck. You do advance, score Show of Force and Personal Evolution. You do 2 meat damage, you do 1 net damage. Then you Neurospike, you do 2 more net damage. That's 5 damage. 5 damage. And also from different sources. So things like No and Home don't work as well. Score 2 stings with a Game Changer. Yeah, there's so many things that this works with. Like score a Philodic Entanglement with a click left. That can be a problem if that card exists. Stings are going to exist. Score that. It only does 1 damage with the Neurospike, so you want bigger agendas, but that's the idea. Bacterial Programming to find it. Exactly. There's so many wild things. I want to see if we can end up playing this in the HB deck, and then every time you score something with a click left, it keeps coming back. I don't know. This is such a big deal because basically these sort of trap decks, they have weaknesses like central pressure, sure. That's a thing that's always been there, and economic pressure. But the idea that now any card that's quad advanced on the table can be lethal in certain like situations is such a big deal. And even if it's not like shell game trap decks, I'm going to be interested in whether people are just going to be like advancing stuff behind ice, letting a Lacosta brew on it, and then when the time is right, score an agenda. Like you can have 2 of these. You can score a 5/3 that's been brewing in Lacosta, and then do Neurospike, take 6. And doing 3 damage is good because it can get around I've had worse. Yo, Eric, government takeover GG. We finally get a score. Yes. You do biotic, red planet couriers. You'll figure it out. Oh man, I think this is such a big deal. Again, like it works, and that's what I love. It's very flexible. Shell game, it's fine. If you have a click left over to score a 5/3, let alone there's 4 3s in Jinteki and in neutral, you can do some goofy damage, right? Lacosta install advance, and then Lacosta gives you credit or can advance for something. You do advance, Neurospike, 6 damage. Like fuck. This is so good. This is so good. The Game Changer ban must be close at hand. Yeah, right? Oh my God, Game Changer. Score it, have all the clicks, you draw into it with Fast Break. Oh, it seems really, really fun. Anyways, such a big deal. Very flexible card, very powerful card. This is the sort of win con that you actually have to play around. You really do. You really, really do. Now let's talk about another card that you have to play around. Sort of. I guess you do. This is Public Trial. So, okay, and I kind of went over this, but the point of this article, Without a Trace, the name kind of suggests that the mechanic trace isn't going to exist within System Gateway at all. They said earlier that C-Source was in this deck before, and that C-Source was in System Gateway. Same with Special Order, mind you, and they said they ended up cutting them. So the only reprints of cards are actually Hedge Fund and Sure Gamble, if I'm not mistaken. But the idea is that Trace doesn't show up. I'm a big fan of that. June also talks specifically about other things about Trace. We'll get back to that. Point being is that I know when I teach Netrunner is I don't put Trace on any cards. I think if you're learning the game, the mechanics of the game are already not so much the mechanics are difficult, but the amount of them and how they work together is pretty complex, that adding this other mechanic on top of it doesn't help you that much. So they said that Trace wouldn't be showing up in this set. That doesn't mean that Trace won't be showing up in other sets, but in this set, there's no Trace, and I'm totally fine with that. But what is wild, specifically, is that Trace is what we associate with tags, and there's a tagging NBN ID in the set with no Trace. To see how they've married those two ideas again, I am so stoked, because I have no doubt they did something really interesting, and this is kind of an idea. Another thing on top of that is that June is saying that Trace specifically within Netrunner doesn't play out in an interesting way, and I think they're kind of correct. I think they're totally correct. They've pointed out certain situations in which tracing is more interesting than just, do you have the money, spend all the money, the runner spends nothing, right? Like Trace becomes a threshold and it's generally used, okay, C-Source, they have 6 credits, so I have to spend 7 credits. So it's kind of as if the card just had the print cost X on it, as opposed to, you know, people don't generally do like, I'm gonna do a C-Source that you could maybe beat if you decided to, and then see how the runner decides to react to it. That's generally not how it happens. They just boost all in or whatever they need to make a successful trace go through. ANR traces were so much worse than ONR traces. It's worth noting for ONR, and I actually did play some ONR 2 weekends ago. ONR tracing, the original Netrunner tracing, worked substantially different. When a card said Trace 5 on it, 5 was the most that a corp could pay to boost into Trace, so it was the hard limit. And then runners also needed specifically Trace cards, which were a subtype of resource, I think generally, that gave them ability to boost their Trace based off of the printed clauses on the card. It would be like 1 credit to get 1 base link, 1 credit to get 1 boost link. But the big thing about ONR traces were they were blind. You both did it at the same time, like a side game, and then you revealed, and corps also won ties. I don't know whether that's a better system. I doubt it is, because that's even more complicated and more wild, and I have no doubt people go into the tank to think about it and probably end up spending as much as they need to in a lot of situations. Point being is that there's very few situations in the game where Trace is used meaningfully. And June, they highlight a couple, specifically, I think 2 interactions that are pretty meaningful. One of them is mid-season replacements, which is a card that cared about how much the Trace exceeded by. And I think that's really fascinating. I think that's better designed for Trace. And I think, I don't know, maybe I was just reading Reddit comments, but waiver is another example that comes to mind, where the amount that you trace by has an impact on the value of the trace, as opposed to like just binary, I have more money, I don't have enough money. Tracing is super fun when both players can put money into affect the outcome, but not the corp always overspends. Yes. I feel like that misses the point of traces, though. The fact that it isn't binary radically changes card design. Yeah. So I'm interested to see where Trace goes, but in short, they printed this card, Public Trial, which again, if you play it in the NBN Reality Plus identity, this thing only costs you 2 credits or costs you 4 and draws 2 cards. And its text, honestly, is very scary sounding. Yo, Bushi, how's it going? Play only if the runner made a successful run during the last turn, just like C-Source. Give the runner 1 tag, unless they pay 8 credits. And 8 credits, Public Trail. Did I say trial? Trail? Wink, thank you. I'm going to say it wrong forever. Give the runner 1 tag unless they pay 8 credits. So there's a couple really interesting things about this. 8 credits is a really good threshold of how much money you want to keep to avoid a trace. And that largely has to do with the fact that hard-hitting news exists. Do I have 8 credits is a question that actually comes up a lot in modern Netrunner, right? Because the idea is the hard-hitting news is a heck of a card, and outside of extenuating circumstances, if hard-hitting news goes through, you can spend your whole turn in 8 credits to clear the tags. So a lot of people will run based off this 8 credit threshold if the corp has a shit ton more money than them, because they understand that 8 credits can, and not that it's not bad for the runner, can clear all the tags. So that 8 credit breakpoint is also really interesting. Also, sorry, this costs more than C-Source, but it also doesn't have to boost into the C-Source trace. If the runner has 7 credits. How much are you paying for C-Source actually? You're paying 2 to play the card. You get strength 3, so you have to boost to 5. So you end up paying like 7. So this is actually quite a deal on a tagging card when it comes to 4 credits. Now also, if the runner has less than 8 credits, how bad is a tag? Like closed accounts is I think the big blowout. But if they have less than 8 credits, the closed accounts isn't too meaningful. I'm really scared of this sort of playstyle where it's like economic warfare into public trail. I said it, I hope ambiguously to get away with it. Gives a runner 1 tag unless they pay 8 credits. So I think I'm scared of economic warfare into public trail into like all-seeing eye. I feel like that's absolutely going to be disgusting. And that might be a problem. I think all-seeing eye is just going to be a huge problem if this is around. And this is, you know, a card that I think like one of the big things you're going to see if we do like learn how to play or like, you know, the sort of replay review videos is like, okay, do you have 8 credits? You made a run. Did you end your turn with 8 credits? I'm also really again, like this is the first card we've seen that's like, here's a single tag, but we have no idea in Gateway what a single tag is worth, right? Like, do they reprint a closed accounts? Do they reprint a market forces, which is not really good with a single tag? What are they doing with it? So I'm really fascinated to see this. Exchange of info is still going to be in the game. Well, it's in Data and Destiny. So like barring any most wanted list change or any unconventional rotation, it should be around for another 2 years, right? The numbers on public trail is much better. It's economic warfare numbers. Yeah, it's much better. If the tag never lands as econ warfare is in another flavor, yeah, that's also a thing too. Like you could also just play this as an economic warfare, right? Like even if the runner has more than 8 credits, you can be like, I'm going to pay 4. And then you can play 8. And that is in theory a winning exchange. And if they take a tag, you only play 2 and then hopefully something goofs them up. So I don't know. It seems solid. I'm really fascinated. When I first saw this, I was really scared. But I think once you think about the math and the numbers, it's not too bad. Now this also still can exist with hard-hitting news. Like there can be more tag punishment in single deck, but you need to play around this. As a new player and someone who's trying to have other new players to play with, just having to know that you need to have 8 credits is a tough thing to teach or learn. I think it is, but like there's these certain Netrunner rules that like I'm glad that there's not too many of them, but you end up learning pretty quickly when you play these sort of like system core stuff. For what it's worth, like C-Source was much harder to learn because I had to be like, okay, well, it costs them 2 and I have 1 link as Kate and it's trace 3. So I need to have the same money of them plus 1, but they could hedge fund first. Like stuff like that, I think is way worse than this. This is a lot more simple, but I think there are going to be just like basic rules that you learn when playing, you know, these sort of sets. Having 8 credits is going to be a thing for sure. I think you're going to figure that one out. The sort of idea, like don't run with less than 3 cards in your hand because of snare. That's going to be a thing you figure out. When you die to an advanceable trap in the game, that's just going to be a thing you're going to onboard at some point if there are advanceable traps. So yeah, I hear you, but at least it's way simpler than just like the trace thing. Given all the IDs where gain 1 or more credits when you do X, I wonder if having 8 credits left over will be more difficult to do. I don't know. It's a good question as we don't know the power level of economy because I don't think we've seen any hard economy besides the IDs themselves. Neurospike this seemed like quick game enders. Perhaps these are the metas in which they're meant by getting game closer to the 15-minute mark. Timmy, yeah, I don't know. I think we heard in chat or somewhere that this is not specifically what they meant because when June was talking about designing the games to be shorter and have more haymaker cards, it was more about bashes than it was about System Gateway. I think they're more interested in System Gateway being a nice onboarding experience, but these are both like very strong cards. I think Neurospike even might be stronger, but I don't know. I like a simple threshold, stay above 5 for sure gamble, stay above 8 to not die. Yeah, also that's also a very important threshold. Stay above 5 to play sure gamble, stay above 6 to play liberated. Like these are things, unfortunately, that just, there's no way to get around them. Okay, this is the last article. My voice, oh my God. Rerouting power. In short, StimHack is leaving standard. StimHack is probably the strongest Netrunner card on the runner side. Whatever, how many caveats I have to attach to that for you to agree with me, I think we can agree. Make a run and gain 9 credits is buck wild at 0 and suffer when brain damage doesn't matter most of the time. This is an incredible card. And this card has had such an impact on what can be printed in Netrunner because this card is goddamn 1 influence and so easy to play. I think one of the things they bring up, and this is one of the reasons why I don't play Lat. It's hard to search. Why can't I search Lat? His name is Lat. Why does that not work? Hurts shapers more than anarchs. Kind of does, doesn't it? Is that I never play lat because you can't play Stimhack in lat. Stimhack is such a strong card that it seemed like lat's console super corridor needed to give +1 hand size or people just wouldn't play lat. And unfortunately, they still didn't play lat. This +1 maximum hand size means that you can play a single Stimhack because Stimhack is one of the best shaper cards in the game. And the reason why is, if it's not obvious, is these 9 credits during a run, you can use them on anything. It doesn't say for icebreakers. It doesn't say for trashing cards you access. It's for anything. So the idea is that people use self-modifying code, pay 2 credits with it, and then use the leftover money to install their Ngolo, and then they're set up on click 1 for no money. Ugh. Lat is also a dead ID versus Asa. Yeah, Frank, that'll get better though, because Cybernex Court is gone. But the other one, now you can play shot for shot with the new HB. I think it's super heavy-handed. 8 is too much. Oh, for the other thing, I think 8 is good though because it lines up with hard-hitting news. But 8 is a lot. They should have given a lad an improved brain cage. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna work with hand size at all in this set. Anywho, there's no Stimhack, but don't worry, NISEI's got your back, and we got a neutral Stimhack. This is really fascinating. It seems like there's 2 of them in System Gateway. It's a bit different. It doesn't do you brain damage. It costs 1. The art is really good. And it says place 5 credits on this event, then run any server. You can spend hosted credits during that run. So it is a mini Stimhack. It gives you a sure gamble worth of credits, and that is that. And anybody can play this. Now, that isn't a neutral Stimhack? No, not exactly. Like, it obviously doesn't have as much money as a Stimhack, but I think we can agree this is reasonable. How good is this card? So there's a couple things about it. Firstly, it's a run event. Ken Tenma's around, fantastic. Jailbreak, fantastic. The fact that it cost 1, honestly, and not 0, that's obviously a difference from Stimhack. 1 isn't that big of a difference. I kind of like this 1 too because it encourages cards like, it makes cards like Mystic Miami or Prepaid Voice Pad or Public Terminal like better. It's nice that you actually can refund this instead of 0 cards where it's just like, whatever. But yeah, Thanos is saying it's sure gamble on a run. And it's unlike Dirty Laundry. Dirty Laundry, you get the money after the run, but you keep the money if the run's successful. But this is just 4 credits and a run, right? And like the click compression you get from things is so important, right? In a lot of situations, like, okay, the gold standard is sure gamble. Everyone puts 3 sure gambles in their deck. 3 sure gambles. Easy. No questions asked. Most decks, 3 sure gambles. 98% of the decks. Okay, Dirty Laundry, also in a lot of decks. And then there's cards like this, which don't show up too often because Career Fair is a bit, it depends, you need resources in the deck, but this is very similar, if not even slightly better in some lists, I would argue, than Sure Gamble. Because it's only 3 credits, but it also gives you a click where you get a free install, and your clicks are generally worth a bit more than a credit. Now, of course, this gets a bit more nuanced because having credits is important as opposed to like saving credits with Career Fair, because you need credits for things like public trial. You need things for like public trial. And then you need credits to install cards, sure, stuff like that. But like this sort of click compression is very, very good. And this card could be evaluated at the same as Sure Gamble. Trail, I got there. So the question is, Sure Gamble and a run, which is Sure Gamble and an Axis, or Sure Gamble while running and trashing a daily business show. Is that good enough to be a 3 of in every deck? Is every deck going to run? Yes. Is every deck going to spend money when they run? Yes. Is this a 3 of in every deck? I think it easily could be. Now, unfortunately, we have 40 card decks, and I don't know how to build 40 card decks. There's too many cards. Like, I was talking about this on the Slack. How do you build a 40 card deck? You have 3 Sure Gamble. Okay. I have 3. I'm playing Criminal, right? 3 Sure Gamble. Okay. I have 3 Dirty Laundry. Okay. 3 Bravado. Yeah, seems good. 3 Doof. Okay. 3 Jailbreak. I guess if you want that. 3 Overclock. Slow down, dude. 3 Boomerang. 3 Class Act. 3 Daily Cast. Like, that's 30 cards, right? Like, the question is not that is this card good, but what is it better than? What is it worse than? I'm excited to find out, but this is very good. 4 credits and a run is good. If you play Sure Gamble, why not play this? I think Daily Cast is getting the cut. Daily Cast honestly is better than Sure Gamble, I think. It's 5 credits for a click. And it's drip. Yeah, I don't know. Also slots, yeah, no influence for 3 Stimhack. And sure, this affects all the people that play Stimhack pretty consistently, every single Anarch. Self-modifying code decks. Cabinessa Wu can use Stimhack really well because you Cabinessa out an SMC and now you're only overclocking out, which means you can still install your Rozekis for free. But yeah, it's a bit slower. Andrew, it's explained on Nisei's page. Sorry, did I miss something? But the intro pack is enough for 2 players, but the deck building pack has some third copies of certain cards. Oh, I think I missed a question. Yo, Pincel, slots are expensive. Oh, hey, Pincel. Yes, in short, if we are buying the cards from NBC, do we get 3 of each? No. So how it works is when you buy the first product is enough cards to have exactly 2 decks that are dual decks that are pre-constructed. And I think they have a couple cards left over to swap in. They don't come with any IDs, if I'm not mistaken. They come with neutral IDs. We don't know what those are, what they say on them, if they have abilities. I doubt if they do. And then the second optional pack, which again, I don't know if it's cheaper, gives you all the identities and then additional cards, and then the third copy of Overclock, because Overclock is only be a 2 of if you buy the dual decks. I do like this. Basically, if you want to play just a starter deck and like just have a product of you and your best friend are playing Netrunner on your Surface, you can just do that and you'll be good to go. But if you care about deck building and all that other stuff, you buy the second pack on top of it. Finally, the professor doesn't have to waste his 1 influence on a stim hack. Hell yeah. Kit can save influence. And again, I've said this before. The fact that there looks like there's going to be enough neutral cards in this set, and looks like the neutral cards are already quite nice, is such a big deal for influence. It's such a big deal for maybe some of the decks that struggle with influence, looking at Kit, looking at all the mini factions. Like the idea that now there is a pretty good pseudo multi-axis within Apex that doesn't cost influence with Jailbreak. Fantastic. It's good. It's real good. Overclock is a nice econ card, but it doesn't come close to the secret burst money you get in right now. Yeah, it's not burst money, but honestly, 4 credits in a run to take down a daily business show. It competes with Dirty Laundry, doesn't it? So the combined 2 parts of Gateway will have full places for all the cards. Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if you buy both things, you get all of it. Oh, there's another card here. Oh my God. I don't know how to say this word. They didn't give me a pronunciation. I think it's because it's a real word. Anoetic. I've committed. Anoetic Void. The Void. Unique Jinteki upgrade. 0 res. 1 trash cost. Whenever the runner approaches the server, you may pay 2 credits and trash 2 cards from HQ if you do end the run. Art is Dark Souls. I saw this. I booted up Dark Souls 2 because I've never beat it, and I probably should, even though I get frustrated halfway through the game, and we're back in it. Can you also use those credits to trash stuff? Yes. Tell us. You can use it during the run. Exactly. You can use it for anything during the run, and accessing is during the run. Okay. They did a rules post at the beginning of the month talking about this whole approaches the server is going to get some changes in the rules. And I talked about that last week, meaning that like it looks like that's the kind of server, the timing structure that comes up on cards like KP Lin, on Caprice NISEI. And I thought that they would probably be releasing a card that cared about the window. Currently in the rules, approaches the server is really awkward because it means you have to res a Netic Void when they encounter the last piece of ice, because there's no window to res on approach. It looks like they're going to change that so that you can res this in a similar timing window to 4.3, which is when you say, do you want to access? And then they say yes. And then you say, fuck you. And you res this, right? So that's a big deal. That makes it a lot easier to play. This is also a card that discards card from your hand into your archives, which is what the new Jinteki identity wants you to do. This is also a busted strong ability. 2 cards and 2 credits. Sorry. Yeah, 2 cards and 2 credits is, that's a fair asking cost. 2 cards, I think, is a bigger fair asking cost to end the run unconditionally. So if you build a remote server that is hard to get into, good luck getting through in twice. Good luck getting into it again, because you can always fire this twice if you have 5 cards in hand. This is really strong. You don't have to play a side game. This is not Caprice. You just have to have 2 credits and 2 cards. Most corps do. And then they have to come back. Oh my God. 0 to res, Ubi. Yes, like it's wild. 1 to trash cost, that's fair, just like Caprice, but 0 to res and then the money's up front. This is such a strong card. Jinteki Glacier can win with this easily. 4 influence is fair, just like Caprice. Play Maw. Yeah, I'm interested to know whether like HQ Disruption is going to be strong enough with cards like Maw, I suppose, but also like Wanton Destruction. So good. Now, it seems really strong. There are some cards that I think have to show up in the meta to deal with this. I'm looking at cards like Political Operative, seem really good. Political Operative is good. I think Lucky Charm is maybe playable enough. This lets you just trash cards at instant speed. Lucky Charm seems good. Before CBI raid. Is that legal? Yeah, I guess it probably is. Lucky Charm, and again, yeah, 40 card decks. Like, how do you do this? But Lucky Charm seems really good too. Always have a backup plan. I'm not convinced, but yeah, you need to deal with this. You really need to deal with this. This seems wild. Wow. Embezzle, yeah, that's actually another nice one too. Oh, the OBS tools just crashed. It looks like the stream is still up, so gonna just hope for the best. Yeah, border control and Etic Void need more clicks. Yeah, there's, I don't know. This is a thing that I think sort of existed in like revised core set, is that most identities had a defensive upgrade. Like, right? Like there was like, what? Red Herrings, Ash, Hokusai doesn't count. And then I feel like I'm missing one. No, Wayland probably didn't have one. But yeah. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. This is going to be the Jinteki like defensive upgrade that rivals Caprice. This just blows open scoring behind ice in a really, really meaningful way. Just account siphon thrice, then run the Netic Void server. Get them. Get them. Yeah. 4 influence is important. Yeah, but I think people will. Like if there is a good mid-range tempo-based Glacier deck, similar to the Dan D'Argenio HB decks that won Worlds back in like what, 2014, this will be in it for 4 influence. You can also recur this in faction and HB with restore. It's 0 to res. That's not a real cost, is it? Like, oh my god. The fact that it costs credits is super important. Yeah, it is. But Caprice also did cost credits. 2 to res, and then you had to play a side game. So I think it's definitely comparable. I think the cards are the wilder thing. We've never seen a card that would see standard play consistently cost cards from hand. Are we nearing a critical mass of click denials? Is RP rotating? RP is not about rotating, it's about whether it makes into system update, because RP is only in system update 2019. It's not in a legal set. This doesn't trash itself. Yep, BioVault also doesn't trash itself. I think BioVault is still a fair card. This might strictly replace it, but BioVault is also good with like Lacosta and probably very playable in the new Wayland too, because it's a card you advance on tempo. Probably Void can lock the remote completely. Hopefully the runner gets some tools to win. Yeah, maybe. And again, that's we've seen interesting games. Like Caprice existed and Caprice made Netrunner. It didn't make a toilet, right? Like there's still games where it's all about central pressure, making sure the corp wasn't comfortable to do this. Like there's still a game here. Imp stock continues to rise. Yeah, just trash cards from HQ. Just trash them. This is good. Also, that's a cool question. Like, do you run the Netic Void to force him to trash cards just so you can run HQ with a legwork and see everything? And again, like legwork and multi-access on HQ is going to be alive and well with Zaya. Or do they throw out the agendas because they know you're going to go HQ next level? Just APOC? This is good against APOC too, right? This is really good against APOC because it doesn't need us, or it's not a remote server only. Anywho, I think that's the last of the news. Besides, obviously, the NISEI website, which is new, and we've talked about that for those who are just tuning in. It slaps. It really does slap. Okay. Fernando, what's up? You have to pay for the Void before the runner passes the first ice. No, you don't. So you pay for it, right? So they changed the timing structure on what approach the server timing structure is. I don't think we've seen it until we're going to see the rules release. But basically, once they pass the last ice, and then you say, do you want to make a successful run? And they commit to that, that seems to be the time where this happens. It looks like they're changing approach to the server to be right before the run is considered successful, and then into that is breach. I might be wrong on that because they haven't shown how the timing works, but it will be, if anything, behind the last ice, right? Some people discovered secret scoops on the website. Bushi, I saw some new cards. If you scroll down, you see some new card arts, right? Yeah, this. View image. Okay, so that's some blur. Synergy with new Jinteki ID? Totally. Are we unofficial scoops? Giles, what do you mean by unofficial scoops? You can say it in chat maybe, and then we'll talk about it. But there's some new cards here as an HB Ice. It has a person on it, which makes me think it's a Biroid. A neutral agenda with 3 points on it. Probably 5-3 is the guess. Killer, criminal killer, Shaper event. It has to be an event. And one Harry Wolf Boy, free on the moon. Oh yeah, Aesop's enhance. Aesop's art is on Krembler's Twitter. Yeah, there's a couple other stuff. Oh, yeah. Okay, Giles, I did see that. How do I find this? Okay, so is it Krembler? Accidental slip of ice carver's art. It's on Krembler's Twitter. How do I get to Krembler's Twitter? Do you have a link? I don't know how to get there. I'm gonna maybe why Krembler's Twitter. This is my first time using Google. I have to search. Where can I find Krembler Netrunner Twitter? Oh, Krembler. Thank you, Bushi. All right, so Krembler does art. I don't know what the exact position is on. Ooh, that also looks like new art up there. But this seems to be. I can't figure out how to put this up, and it's been seen. There was another fun one to do. So this is Ice Carver? You Google like a grandpa. Yeah, I know. It's fine. Art director. Okay, charge of commissioning artists. Okay, cool. I thought that was Zoe, so I don't know the different roles, but that's fantastic. So I think that's Ice Carver. This is Aesop's pawn shop. I think either that's the assumption or we know, and it makes a lot of sense. It is a pawn shop. Staff are armed. Aesop is always frosty. And I think there might have been one more. Kremlin and Zoe also do. I knew Zoe did art. I just didn't know what the title existed to whom. That's close enough to sentence. I feel like there was another one, but maybe we'll see it. How did these get leaked? That's rough. At least Kremlin's posting it. Okay. That's everything. Oh my god. Tomorrow's gonna be a big day because we're gonna know Runner the day after it. How can it be Aesop's if the staff are armed? Oh, Frank, god damn it. Fuck. Troubleshooter is an avatar on NISEI site. Oh, okay. Corporate Troubleshooter is a really interesting card. The question is whether it's going to have the connection subtype or not. Functional errata. He never shuts up about his arm either. Yeah, I know he never ask him about his arm. Okay, for those who are just tuning in now, this is worth saying because I said this at the beginning of the stream. Next week is Community Week. It's on the Spoilers channel GLC. Okay, cool. I'll check that out. Thank you, Bushi. But next week is Community Week. I said this early in the stream. But in short, we have some scoops to deliver, and how it's going to work is actually very, very cool. And I'm very, very excited about. Next week, I think in the middle of the week, I'll be putting out a video that's going to be pre-recorded that is going to show the scoops that NISEI was kind enough to throw our way. But then, and this is the part that I was like, what, really? You're going to let us do this? On Thursday, at this same time, a week from now, we will be playing on a private JNet mirror that has the new set on it. Me and Pat will be playing games. Now, I've said this before, there are some restraints. There are some conditions. Firstly, we will only be playing with all the cards that have been spoiled so far by NISEI, plus the cards that we have spoiled. Community Week, we'll have a lot of other spoilers from other people in the community. We're not going to be using those cards. If you want to know more about those cards, go check them out. Go to the other channels. We'll talk about them the week after. We also will be able to play with System Update and Ashes. We're going to be, all Standard and System Update 2021, which is going to be revealed. Plus Phil's cards. Yeah, Phil said we can use his cards, so we'll figure out what Phil's are. So all of that stuff is going to be Thursday, same time, same place as you are right now. We'll be playing live. We won't be able to do any deck building. That's very important because we're not going to be able to open the deck builder because then you can accidentally see a bunch of cards. So we're going to not do that. But Pat and I are going to be playing games. We're going to try and build, a couple of things and play them. And I am so stoked because that's a lot of effort from the NISEI team. And I'm just really excited to try these stuff. Did you already know the scoops? Are you holding out on this, right? Yeah, of course I did. Yo, like real talk. I guess I can say this. NISEI contacted community people a long time ago, and they will give you the process is really good, in depth to the point where they will say these are the things that you will know before your video comes out, so that you can pre-record something with information you'd already have. I think I'm allowed to say that. Yes, I know my scoops. They're good. They're good. You'll see next week. That's all I can say. We're going to find a list of the other community streamer content maker. Andrew, there's not going to be a place that you can find them all together until the week ends, and NISEI will put them all together. So if there's something that you miss, you'll find it on the 22nd. I would recommend checking out Reddit r/Netrunner, where I've no doubt people will post the stuff from themselves, or maybe they find from other people. On top of that, if you're in green level clearance or any stim hack Slack or anything like that, you'll see that people have no doubt will do that. Keep an eye on NISEI Twitter account too. Ooh, Bushi, yeah, that's probably a good point too. Project NISEI's Twitter should have some stuff. Do you have conduit? I need it. I have no comment on that. How tight was NDA signed? No, the NISEI team has been fantastic. They've put a lot of effort into it. The contacting with their community team has been like stunning. Like it's been really, really good. Like 10 out of 10. Great experience. I haven't recorded the video. I'm recording it this weekend. It'll be out next week and it'll be streaming, and then who knows? So that's next week. I'm really, 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 really stoked. On that note, I had to contact NISEI on StimHack Slack because they're like, we're making a channel to talk to a bunch of people at once. And then I logged on StimHack Slack, which I haven't been to in years. And then I saw a lot of people have sent me messages over the years, sending like deck lists or answering questions or stuff that I've asked during streaming. And I've missed every single one of those messages. I want to deeply apologize for that. That's awful. Sorry. I didn't see anything. And then I saw it and it's like a bunch of notifications. And I feel like I did a problem. Would be sick if the new card Andre has is called NDA. Were NISEI kind enough to make sure you don't have to play Shaper? No comment. Yeah, no comment. Yeah, I don't know how like targeted they are. I would love to know whether NISEI's be like, these are cards that we think this like person would be happy to spoil, or like these are cards that's gonna piss off this person, so we're gonna give it to them. Like at some point they gave me Hyobu for like the first NISEI set, and like I don't like playing Celebrity Gift, and then they made me talk about Celebrity Gift, so good for them. Masscom supports incorporated. There's got to be Masscom supports. Like we've seen this. Masscoms. It says Masscoms in the article. Anywho, that's all the news. That's all the news. I think we did all the news. Let me check. Yeah, that's the news. We did it. Well, they gave you the blue Geisty cards for Downfall. That was cool. Yeah, no, that was really on brand. I think they understood that I'm a big fan of Geist. If Andre spoils NISEI well redacted. No, seriously, I don't like. I wonder if I've already said too much, but like, I really have no interest in goofing on the NISEI people who put so much work into this. Oh, another really cool thing that we're going to see, which actually is probably worth it, is that we're going to be playing with the System Update 2021 cards as of next week, and so we should be able to see the art on them. I'm realizing. Oh, no, but they'll probably show the art tomorrow anyway, so it doesn't matter. Unless they're just revealing a list of the cards. Nah, they're probably going to show you all the art. But yeah, the new art on System Update 2021 is... I've seen a bit of it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Okay, I think RC tries to do as much as possible. Do what exactly? Be great? Because, well done. Hoping for art scoops tomorrow. Yeah, I think we will. I'm pretty sure we will. It might just be like a paper list to be like, these are the names of the cards, but I don't know. And tomorrow is such a big day too. It really, really is. It's 10:40. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. We're going to try a thing. This is a deck list that was sent to me. Yeah, Movable mentioned me. Give scoops that tied to content creators' playstyle. Oh, shit. Yeah, that is so cool. Will Netrunner be getting the list tomorrow, Thanos? I have no idea. I don't know. I know the JNet crew work, the Netrunner DB crew and the NISEI crew overlap. Maybe entirely at this point. I'm not actually sure, but maybe. I'd be happy if we did, but maybe it'll take a day. Top 4 from Worlds gets the scoop next week too. Oh yeah, right. It's all of them, right? Because I know Limes has a card, so then 3 other people get cards. I don't have names for the other 3. Who are the other? What was the top 4 from Worlds? It's been a minute. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Brick? Toby? Shu? Yeah? Shu is 3, yes. Brick? Yeah, Brick was 4th. Shu was 3rd. And then it was Limes and... Oh shit, who's 2nd? This feels bad. Somewhere in the 70s. There's not enough cards for that, Ubi. There's not. Yeah, Oganite Sangren. TF34, yeah, Toby, yeah. TF. Okay, cool. I didn't know TF34 was Toby. Yeah, those were fun matches, the CTM. Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you. All right, so this is a list. So at some point we have to go through the list of cards that are going to rotate, which we'll have full information of that as of the next 2 days. We're going to do a stream or something about talking about that, maybe a video. I don't know. There's a lot of things to be done this month, so it's going to maybe be a bit difficult. But the idea is a bunch of cards rotate. For what it's worth, I looked at the cards that rotate and my numbers, and argue with me all you want. Out of the things that are rotating, there's 55 cards in Honor and Profit that are going to rotate. I'd argue 8 of those cards see consistent play, or were good in certain competitive decks. I saw a lot of play. Not that there's not cards that are loved. I think there's only about 8 cards in there that them leaving is going to have an impact on the meta in a meaningful way. And then it was 120 cards in Sansan. 4 of those are current, so who cares? And then about 31 to 32 of those cards are very meaningful, I think. So that's what I'm seeing right now. I think it's like that is probably the highest ratio. I think Sansan is the higher ratio than Lunar in terms of cards that are rotating versus cards that have an impact on the meta. But again, if we're only losing about 40 cards that see consistent play, I'm pretty sure in System Gateway, the number of cards that can see consistent play out of the 75 will be, I'm gonna just say high 60s. I'm gonna say high 60s. Like it's gonna be good. Sansan was a good cycle. Sansan's my favorite cycle. So I'm obviously bummed that it's rotating, but it is what it is. So we're going to talk about that. But Movable messaged me and they said, like, you know what, a card that rotates? And they said Shiro. And I said, what's that? And there's a really funny combo in here and it plays with another card I'm not a big fan of, but it's really cool that there's a Shiro deck. And this is a combination that I've never seen anyone talk about. And I think is absolutely fascinating. So Shiro is a code gate that exists. It's 4 influence for reasons. It costs 6. It's 5 strength, which is honestly, that's not bad. And it gives you some weird subroutines. Look at the top 3 cards of R&D and arrange them in any order. And then the runner accesses the top card of R&D unless the corp pays 1 credit. That's a weird subroutine, right? That is a really weird subroutine. The idea, the hope is, right? So you look at the top 3 cards of R&D and then you can put something on top that you'd be happy for them to access and then they access it. So this is painful to break, like it never feels good. Exactly, it never feels good. And the question why this could be good is because Mwanza exists. So even if they're not going to interact with R&D, you can get them to hit a Mwanza, which is pretty impressive, especially because you can kind of arrange the top 3 cards of the deck. And I don't know, that kind of it helps in some extent. But the idea is that you can like Marcus Batty them into a Mwanza City grid, hopefully. And then suddenly you gain that huge credit swing. And then you're kind of off to the races. You also have Ganked, which is really cool. When they hit this from R&D with the Mwanza, you can trash the force runner and counter res piece of ice protecting this server. So as long as you have some ice res in R&D, you can get them to ganked in by running into a Shiro on another remote with Mwanza City Grid. You can do some ridiculous stuff, especially if you end up ganking into a Kamainu multiple times, which is another like win con of this deck. The idea that Kamainu can get multiple subroutines for the whole run. So this combination works relatively interestingly together. Now we're playing PE. And we're playing 3 snare, which is really important if you want them to access a lot of cards at once. And then you got some other really weird things. You got gank them into Shiro. Yeah, so you can do that. Unfortunately, you have to trash the gank, so you can't infinite loop them, which would be a lot of fun. But you can get like buko money. Gank Kamainu, Anansi is better than Gank Kamainu? Depending. Maybe. Oh, hey, Movable. Yeah, maybe. So Infusion says, do we know if there are any reprints in any of the release? System update 2021 is going to be entirely reprints. There's going to be no new cards, and System Gateway is 73 new cards. Sure Gamble and Hedge Fund. In PE lockdowns, Ice is super strong. Yeah, Daijin, I saw that you said that. For what it's worth, I don't think it matters in this deck specifically, because the idea is that we kill them. It kind of matters if they continue to drop up into Philotic, but outside of Punitive Counter-Strike, but it's kind of difficult. On top of that, we also have bacterial programming, and this was the conversation of whether or not to have bacterial programming or whether to have Opakata Protocol. And Opakata Protocol is obviously very good in Jinteki PE. It's 5 damage to steal, which is really difficult, especially because they can't really do that on Mwanza run. Because if they steal this, then the next thing that they touch, they generally die. So that is interesting. Now, the idea why we play bacterial programming is because if they hit it during a Mwanza run, you could score this and it interrupts the additional accesses, and then you can get 2 snares on top of the deck in a row, and then they die because they can't stop accessing. And it also allows you to draw into punitive. It allows you to do a lot of control. The problem though with this is that it's a legitimate 3-pointer, and we do have Mwanza. So if things go really poorly, and mind you, bacterial programming ensures you that it doesn't happen poorly, this seems like a really fun, strong win condition. I'm really excited for this. Yeah, Bacterial is so much fun with Mwanza. It really is. So we have some cool stuff going on here. We don't have a lot of ice. Again, I think Stargate is the nightmare, but at least the cool thing we've got going on is that we can get them into a Mwanza City Grid, even if they don't want to in some circumstances, because Stargate gets around this. Mwanza fires, you'll be rich. Enforcing Loyalty is a fun card. I feel like Enforcing Loyalty, like I don't know what targets we're aiming for. If we have the money, I think we just use it on Punitive Counter-Strike. We also have genotyping, which is cool. It lets you put your traps back in your deck. We have an offer you can't refuse, which is really, really fun. I think this deck used to have more than one of them. I think one of them is fine, but the idea is that you can set it up at a point where it's like, do you want to run my Mwanza? No? Okay. Now you do have to watch out because an offer you can't refuse. If they steal agendas, punitive doesn't fire because punitive says last turn. So if they steal them on your turn, that doesn't work. We also have an archive memories, which is flexible. I imagine we use it for punitive. Disposable HQ is also such a piss off of a card. Man, if you ever play a prison deck and you hit one of these and they bury 2 3-pointers, Jesus, you lose the game. I really don't like this card. It's very, very strong. They Stargate, they baddie Shiro's your way out. Yeah, you have ways. You have ways. 2 baddies probably fine. Yeah, I believe it. I just want to fire the combo for television's sake. So we'll start here and go from there. But how's it been online? Movable. How's this deck on? Oh, and we can do the cool thing. If I haven't shown you, if you're watching on Twitch, we talked about this early, or a friend in my meta has built a plugin. If you're watching right now on Twitch, the idea is with the plugin, wait, let me import this deck first, 64149, is that you can see the deck list on Twitch at real time. You can highlight any cards. You can click on it. It'll get you to Netrunner DB link. It'll show you the full art. If you highlight over it, enjoy. Really big deal. Only 11 ice? Yeah, we have a lot of combo pieces. So all I need to do, you're not gonna be able to see this, but if I wanna update the deck list, is I have to open my dashboard and then I just have to hit Keyhole. You can't see this. And then I just have to input the number. Amazing plugin, it really is. It's free to anyone. It's called Keyhole. If you search Netrunner or Keyhole on Jinteki.net, on Twitch, you'll find it. And the deck list should be updated right now. Great plugin, very well done, Remy. Hey, Eric, yes. Funny enough, Eric in chat used to be an instructor and taught Remy some of the skills he used to make the plugin. We all hang out together and play Arkham. I'm hella noob at about 50 core experience games. That's good. 50's great. Even core Jinteki spins in my head, so the jank in this deck looks like it's gonna tear right off. Hell yeah, Ian. Yo, 50 games is really good for core experience, man. You're not a noob anymore. You figured it out. Nerds. Get them. Moanza pays off more really well, but if you don't draw it, good luck. Yeah, there's some cards you could play for that, right? Like Psychokinesis, fantastic. There's also cards that let you tutor for Marcus Batty specifically in whatever the corp version of Career Fair was meant to be. I don't think those are necessary. Not seeing the decklist via the plugin. Eons, so you either are on mobile, which it won't show up, or I'm assuming, or you don't have plugins enabled, which on Firefox it doesn't. It has decklist not selected. God damn it, Remy. Wait, really? Hold on. I have plugins enabled. Yeah, no, you're right. I'm clicking the button and it doesn't seem right. 641. Okay. Okay, try that now. I need to do it right. Okay, it's a published decklist. This looks like it's so easy, doesn't it? You have to reload the stream for it to load? Oh, that's a problem. It shouldn't do that. I think I just updated it at the exact same moment they refreshed though, but it should auto refresh. If someone hasn't refreshed the stream, if you can tell me whether the new decklist updates, that'd be fantastic. Live demos. Reloading seems to fix it. I feel like that was just coincidence because I just properly updated it now. Okay, while we're waiting for a game, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the decklist and don't refresh your browser and let me know if it works because I think I goofed it up on my side. No refresh here, still no decklist. Didn't refresh, not showing. Piss. Okay, we gotta give that back to Remy. Thank you, appreciate it. This is more testing in 1 minute than you can do in weeks, you know? Okay. I feel like I might have goofed it up, but we'll see. All right, try refreshing. Same spinny wheel, okay. Try refreshing, tell me if it works. If it doesn't work, obviously, we have this video recorded, so Remy can see all your feedback. It loads eventually? Okay. Good to know. It works. I have a decklist. Did you refresh though, Bushi? Hey. Dave. All right, Lat. Ooh, gonna get free card draw. Maybe that helps. How's it going? Lat's also like very, doing damage to Lat's really funny because then it's hard for them to get their value. But Lat also is pretty resilient to punitive considering they can get after to 6 hands. Oh, you did refresh. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna mulligan this. We don't want any of these cards. Now we're talking. Hey, me too. Gonna be great. This plugin's tight. It's really good. I'm such a fan. Best of luck. Have fun, eh? They are doing nice work. They are. Okay, we're off. So again, if you have the plugin and it's working, you can open it, so the deck list. If you highlight over any card, it'll show you the card in full art. If you click on any card, it opens the Netrunner DB. If you click on the deck list name, it opens the deck list. So check that out. Keep that first hand, feed them bacterial and double punitive. It can be hard with Lat, and we didn't have the money. But I don't know. I feel like I'm just gonna do Shiro into Rashida. Because we can't afford the Nancy. Because in theory, we want the Nancy on the remote. Shiro on the remote really doesn't do too much, barring the Mwanza ganked plays or what have you. This is a bit dodgy. We're also on 4 cards, which is kind of optimal against Lat. Like, you don't want to end on 5. It's too easy. At least you can encourage them to have a smaller hand size. Yeah, exactly. If we keep ours low, which, yeah, Rashida will really help us, huh? ID bluff the Nancy? I think you're right that you could ID bluff the Nancy. Ooh, going in here. Just found this channel. Thanks for making those videos. Ryan, welcome. Thank you. There's a lot more to make. Shit. I'm going to do the PE damage first. Prepaid. The feedback for that video that we put out earlier this week has been so strong that, well, yeah, I have no doubt we're going to make more stuff just like that, especially for System Gateway. Sorry, I got to tank this. Oh, this is only a single axis. Is punitive kill right now? We can't. They can draw. We can't. This is a single axis. We can't kill them. How do we kill them? Do we just add punitive and discard everything else and then hope we draw with Rashida? I think so. You can snare? Wait, what? How can we snare? How? Wait, I was thinking. How can we snare? It's a single axis. I don't get it. Take your time, thank you. Could you explain why Stimag is bad in Lat? Because Lat, you need to match the corpse hand size, and if your hand size is 4 because you took a brain damage, you'll never match the corpse hand size if they keep 5 cards in hand. Yeah, we can't really do it. I need to discard things here. Sorry, I was joking. No, we can go for it. I'm gonna get rid of the vanilla. I'm basically gonna get rid of everything besides the 3 hedge funds, though. We kind of want that. I'll keep a hedge fund punitive, and then we draw into 2 unknown cards. I'm just going to start trashing stuff, y'all. Okay, we'll do value hedge fund. We'll do value punitive. Oh, wait, we can do this. Oh, never mind. Oh, never mind. I figured out how the card works. Why discard cards? Because I don't want to draw them with Rashida. But you're right. We could have just added them to hand. Yeah, you're totally right. This also, mind you, will work well in the new Kentucky identity. Especially because 5/3s is actually really good in 40 card decks. Bacterial's MP because it always takes 10 minutes. Yeah, it's like making an entrance. You go make yourself a sandwich. It's nice. Sandwiches are nice. All right. Yeah, you're right, though. We definitely should just add the snare to hand. Just add the baddie to hand. Discarding that was nonsense. Yo, Jogging, how's it going? Decklist? Yo, if you're on Twitch, hit Keyhole. Just click the Keyhole and you'll see it. Nah. Baby. Jogging, also, I tried Exceed because they send you demo decks for free. It was good. It was fun. I think it'll hit the table more than BattleCon. Oh, Snap, you're on Twitch. Yeah, Ryan, we stream to 2. I have a server so I can stream to 2 channels. Peer into the Keyhole. We stream on Twitch and YouTube. Twitch is twitch.tv/metropodgrid. Glad you liked it. Yeah, man. They give you like Ken and Ryu for free. You just have to pay shipping. Sick. Oh man, if we kept snare here. Anansi. Who sent you free decks? Like 99. Level 99 games will send you free demo decks for Exceed. Yeah, guys, if you want to play a card game that's like a fighting game, Exceed will send you free decks, or at least they did for a while. Not enough money for double punitive? Probably not. We're gonna get some from this. We could probably not. Lat has a link. All right. Okay. So if we do punitive, archive, punitive, we need to land both of them, which seems super unlikely. We also can at most play 3 cards here. Punitive, archive, punitive. So if we do a punitive, we have to do 3 plus 5. No, it's not gonna go through. So we have to do 5, we have to boost 4. No, it's not gonna work. Exceed is good, yeah, Exceed's really fun. Hamburglar, well, hey, welcome. Exceed has depth, but not bloat. Yes. And it's also like just way more, I think, forgiving. Okay, I'm going to go for the ganked play on R&D. God, you have to throw out so much shit here. We don't need this. Another one. I don't know. This seems good because we have the card in hand. We have to discard one more card. Got so much free value from Jinteki. I guess we throw out an Nancy. I don't know. We don't have that much ice. One fighting game that I wanted to like, but it fell flat was Yomi. I've heard good things about Exceed. Yeah, I haven't played Yomi. It seems pretty busy. Yeah, we don't need to, Nancy. This is the real Restoring Humanity gameplay. It's a ridiculous amount of cards. I know, right? I totally forgot I could add things to HQ. Will you teach me to football? Where around I go to get back into Netrunner? So many different formats. What? Will you teach me to football? I don't know what that means. Want to get back into Netrunner? Yes, we're going to be making content for new players for Season Gateway. Oh, this is such a bummer too. This is anti-damage card. Because if we trash an event doing net damage, the Shaper will actually draw a card. PAX Unplugged happens this year. You need to make it down. We have 60 plus players for 2019 East Coast Champs. Where is that usually? Like Boston? We had plans originally to go to PAX Unplugged. The last PAX Unplugged, that was a thing, but it was difficult to do. Also travel right now. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But yeah, I totally know what you mean. Philly. Oh, Philly. I've never been to Philly. I think it's a bit farther than Boston, but not much farther. Philly in December sounds beautiful. Okay, so we're going to make a server. This is Shiro. We still don't have a Mwanza yet, but like, they're probably scared. Double prepaid, 2 cards in hand, get your free card draw, my friend. Snare in hand is nice. I think we'll put the ganked. We don't need the money this turn. And Engram Flush or Genotyping. I like the Genotyping a bit. It lets us recur the Engram Flush we just threw out, but more likely it lets us recur snares. Lucky Find, that's some influence. Feed the Bacterial? I want to score it. It fires when you score it too, though, right? Yeah, scored or stolen. That's good. I tried Vault per your recommendation. I wasn't a fan at first, but it's really growing on me. I've heard that from a lot of people. Like, I don't know if I like it, but then they get into it. And they're like, actually, that's pretty good. This week I got into Skytear, which is like a board game that's meant to be a facsimile of a MOBA. And Maddie and I have been enjoying it. Maddie's been enjoying it way more than I thought she would. It's really fun. Where should I go to learn all the new Netrunner? Is there another print happening? Yes, Hamburglar, check out nisei.net. Just like Bushi says, they're printing System Gateway, which is an experience specifically targeting for new players. It's going to have decks that you can just play without anything else. They'll teach you the rules. And that's largely it. The cards come out on March 28th. You can print and play. So you can just print the PDF out if you want, pay what you want. Or on top of that, you can buy the cards printed professionally. It comes out right soon. 19 credits, oh, great. NearEarthHub.net has a lot of good Netrunner resources. That it does. On top of that, if you're at probably a big enough city, if you go to nisei.net, there's a community section that'll give you a bit of information about where you play, maybe find local players, stuff like that. I'm going to genotyping. What do we need? We need 6 + 8 is 14. No, our money's going to go very quickly if we start raising things. Skytear felt good in Season 2 starting. So Skytear is a board game, but the board game has live rules. So Season 2 just started, is what they call it, as of like 2 weeks ago. And they changed like how some fundamental rules work. And so basically every season they can update the rules, just kind of like patching a game. I live in SD. I doubt many people. I don't know what SD is though. All right. That lady's not going to do much considering the only thing we have is a vanilla and we threw it out. It's not even the first time they changed. South Dakota. There's 100% people playing in South Dakota. 100%. Oh, okay. That's what they're doing. That makes sense. It's actually a really good res here because they have 6 cards in hand. And so it eats most of the lady. And we have a small chance of hitting a ganked here, which will be very, very bad. If they like top deck a ganked, this thing is going to have like 12 subroutines. It's like the complete opposite of FFG OP. Yeah, I know. It's also like, it's their first game. They're like brothers from Italy, if I'm not mistaken. It's neat. Yeah, this is really awkward. It's like 3 counters. Maybe they want to take 1 net damage because it draws them a card with Anacom. Oh, actually, they probably paid an event. Okay, if we get a ganked here, It's disgusting. Do they just die if they hit ganked? No. Yeah, probably actually. I think they might just die if they hit ganked. They did trash a Marcus Betty though, so we're gonna draw an unknown card. Trying to gank this Southmatic, especially for MOBAs, huh? But man, they just draw way too much. It's so hard to punitive them when they have 6 cards in hand. Oh, there's a Fetal on top. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and score this. We'll do the PE damage first. Hitting an Ika, okay. Arrange the top 7 cards of R&D. Oh no, that's not good for us, is it? So what do we want to jam into the remote? We only have 10 credits, which means we could do a Nuncy into ganked, which actually would be pretty relevant. An offer you can't refuse won't really do much unless we score another bacterial, which is unlikely. Vanilla seems honestly not bad, considering it's going to text their lady very, very evenly. Oh man, I hate this. There's so much thinking to be done. We want a card we can never advance. I think we're okay with Sting. Oh, to discard though. Yeah, I like the vanilla. Engram Flesh is also, you know, cost them something. And we just call event with this, right? Because this doesn't do net damage, it discards them. I'm going to leave it, which seems awful. I think I'm going to discard the offer you can't refuse though, because it's very unlikely to matter. Because our score pattern will get us to like 5 points usually. I do hate thinking this is why I don't play Shaper. This is a Shaper agenda. We also could consider discarding agendas and then genotyping them. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I can't figure this out. Onto R&D, okay. Philotic, Fetal, NGO, Vanilla Engram. I don't know, guys. Yeah, genotype shuffles. Yeah, genotype does shuffle, so we didn't have to discard it. Yeah, we really didn't. No offer plus Sting plus Philotic. Oh, we have to discard cards. Oh, fuck, we have to discard cards. That's really bad. It doesn't do net damage from archives. I feel like punitive is going to be really, really, really unlikely in this matchup. I feel like we should throw out punitive, but I'm gonna stick to it. Because like it's really hard with Anacom, because it only does 2 damage, let alone they have Link and a lot of money. Yeah, I think we should have thrown out the punitive there, because this gets us back Mwanza and Batty and a lot of other stuff. Yeah, I regret it. I just wanted to stick to this because it seemed like the game plan, but I think we have to find a different way to win. Silent Chip is down, so that gives them access to their Ika if they need to. It lets them refresh their lady pretty cheaply. And what does Sting do? Equal 1 number stings another player's square, but so it does 2 damage. And we know what we're drawing. We could score this out. I don't want to ice up HQ. I really don't. We also could have put garbage on the top to preempt the genotyping. I'm going to do this. Yeah, this gives them to game point. Sting, get him. So they drew a card, and then we hit a 2 laundries. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of the punitive now, though. Yeah, okay, now we're committing to the right line. Deuces Wild draws them 3 cards. So 22 left in the stack. This is the sort of deck that probably plays like AR Lab Enhanced, or AR Harmony Therapy. And then just does like hedge fund, gamble, laundry. The fact that we haven't seen an indexing yet is buck wild, or even a Maker's Eye. Like they must have event-based run. I think it's just the indexing. The thing is like this does stack up well. Even against Ika, like Ika doesn't deal with it too well, does it? Oh no, that's actually pretty good. 1 for 2. That's not that bad. They break this for like 5 credits the first time. These sort of decks, mind you, are very, very weak to indexing. Yeah, there you go. There's indexing. So that's the big problem here, is that they don't hit any of our traps. It wouldn't trigger Mwanza until the rerun. So they're just gonna do a lady and install an Ika and host it. So yeah, this is gonna be the death of us. There's a chance they win right here. Now, the cool thing is that they can't hit the bacterial programming off the top because then it forces a shuffle. But if they steal just about any agenda, the feudal AI is game. Yeah, that's a really easy way for them to deal with this. Steg might be good with 3x bacterial, 3 oboe, and gene splicer. Yeah, that's an option. I think they want a lot of agendas in the deck just to make the Mwanza more deadly. But I think you're right. Like, I think you could go Obakata. The problem is we haven't seen a Mwanza yet, and we've drawn more than half our deck. Not that, again, it would matter that much here. At least they didn't have to think too long. Oh, we also know that this is flooding into fetal. Oh, we lose. Good game. GG. I do think the 3 stings are key. Yeah, stings get really meaningful. But they know on top is fetal into Philotic, so that's, what, 3 damage? I fucked this up. Oh no. What do they do? How does this game even work without your Lord and Savior, Mr. Howard? Honestly, it's been fine. It's been totally fine. Indexing is not a card that's been in standard. They just added it for this like little window called Salvage Memories just to shake up the meta. And Jackson Howard's really good for indexing, but generally Jackson Howard hasn't been around for about 2-3 years, and honestly, I have not missed him. Really? Yeah, I have not missed him. I don't even know if every deck would play Jackson Howard modernly if you could. Yeah. It's also worth noting that cards, good game, cards like noise and things that trash really heavily don't exist anymore, or wantonly trash like that. It's always the threat, eh? Thanks for the game. Yeah, we had no chance there. So yeah, we knew there was another agenda on there. I don't know if we knew the bacterial. I thought it was fetal into Philotic, but I guess we drew the fetals. And there we got our Mwanzas at the bottom, our Ganks at the bottom too, unfortunately. But our strat was okay. This is a really hard matchup to kill. Like, their economy was really strong. They had Anacom for free card draw and damage protection and 6 cards in hand. I think they're very, very good. Google's Jackson Howard. Jackson Howard used to be a 3 of in every single deck. Nah, nothing. And for what's worth, there aren't a lot of traps to fire in archives, so I don't think you have to be worried about hitting archives here, unless it's like a lot of points into punitive, but they're fine. Hey, cheers. Okay, well, we haven't fired a Shiro yet, so that's a failure. So we need to do this again. Let's go. I miss Shock. Yeah, I kind of do. I do not miss when Shock and Breachstone were legal. That sucked. Jackson Howard was -3 influence to all non-NBN decks because NEH was 17 already. Yeah, it was kind of the real attacks. At that time, people really wanted Jackson Howard to be considered a Wayland just because Wayland needed a boost back then. And then they would basically gain 3 influence in every deck ever, which would have been fun. It's also worth knowing that if you haven't played with Jackson Howard, his ability is very nuanced and very interesting. He stops agenda flood. He gives you card draw, recursion. There's so many reasons why he's good. And he also can be used clicklessly a lot of the times, which is a big deal. But he also did enable accelerated diagnostics, power shutdown combos, which if you haven't experienced those, oh my God. Jackson used to be first 3 cards I would pick even before hedge fund. I think I would do hedge fund first. I think I would do 3 hedge fund, then 3 Jackson. Yeah, Howard did everything he did. I think the new Jinteki ID needs a shock or dome replacement. I think that's what people are thinking it has and what they'd want. I think having one good one good archives poisoning card would be such a big deal for that ID because it would just make you think, should I run archives, as opposed to is it a financial cost as opposed to a trap cost? And I think the only thing that we have that's really compelling is Cyberdeck Sandbox. Supposedly HQ is your archives trap. Does that fire from archives? Does it? Oh, wow. That's fucked up. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that honestly would have been fine. Shiku is leaving. Yeah, Shiku is rotating in Honor and Profit. Not that Shiku sees a lot of play, but it is, it's fine. Honey Farm, yeah, no, that one rotated too. Yo, what's going on? Power shutdown combos make me want to get up from across the table and go find some snacks. They're fun. They're inventive. Oh, we can't kill Geist either. Geist is another runner that's incredibly difficult to kill because they can card draw clicklessly throughout the run. So I think the best we can do is go really fast because once Geist is set up, it's kind of GG. They also have spy cameras so they can see the top of R&D, let alone probably a Stargate if they're playing a competitive list. Yeah, I don't feel strong about this. We do have a Shiro though, which is all that we need in the world. So what do we want to do here? I think we want to do install on HQ to make sure we don't get diversioned. We could ice up R&D. This is really awkward on a remote to score behind. And then maybe we hedge fund if they're forcing the Shiro res on R&D, but I don't think they are. So I'll draw first here. That's better on the remote server. This is really hard for them to deal with. I guess no, grappling hook is fine. But it's a lot of E3 counters if they're doing that. So we'll put something on HQ. Vanilla's kind of rough because they can grappling hook it, but at least, I don't know. Maybe we want something on HQ that we can actually res. I feel like we don't need to end the run on the remote server. It's been a couple years, so I might need a minute with seeing new cards. Oh, no worries. Got any questions? Just ask two. Oh, they're actually going R&D for single. So that's usually not right here. Geist wants to set up a lot. If they hit a snare here, it's pretty bad for them. They'll lose most of their hand. They have a tag to clear. Shiro versus Spy Cam is going to be fun. Remy's plugin is super cool. Yo, Pat, how's it going, man? It's really great. I'm a super big fan. That's not a fast hand? No, it's not. I kind of want to do some throwback Netrunner. Only discovered it in 2019 and DV No is canceled if I tried to buy an extension. Yeah, people play like formats that have older stuff in it too. Oh, it's a Monza. They found out about that. That's good. That's good for us. We got the Shiro Monza combo. Okay, I'm gonna draw once. And we will do Shiro Monza. We have it. Why not? So for what it's worth, actually, we probably should just put Shiro on the remote server because they're more likely to hit it, but this lines up really poorly with Boomerang. Actually, I'm gonna undo that click. Yeah, nah, whatever. That's right, so cool. I'm even hanging out in the Twitch chat this time. Pat's usually on YouTube. Thanos is asking Pat, you know what IDs you're running for your scoops play? Yo, Pat, don't spoil the spoilers. It's still good against spy cams though? Yeah, if it fires, it's good against spy cams, which is why it's nice here, right? Because if they see the top card, run through it. Not a lot of ice shuffle, R&D specifically. Add-on is sweet. Would be nice if the cards opened a bit more to the right so you can change what's being looked at. Yeah, there's some issues with that that we had to work on, or mostly Remy had to work on. We'll keep that in mind. Thank you. Oh, you got the Ken Ryu decks. Jogging. What did you have to pay for shipping in America? Okay, double spy cam again. That is clickless card draw. We have this in hand, which is what we want, but we want to set up. Scoring this early is garbage, but you have to play the hand you give. You're given. I know the runner, don't know the corp. Pat, is that spoilers, man? You gotta be careful. $6? Yeah, I paid like 12 American because they have to ship it across the border. And then it has to go from like, ooh, we probably get diversion here. So the question is, if you res the boob vanilla here, it gives them information. They get cards, and they draw 2 cards and a credit. If we don't res it, they can do another diversion. I feel like not resing this is okay. Yeah, I don't think we res this. Ryu is from Fortnite? Yeah, no, he is. I think he is. Or maybe from God of War. At this point, it's actually hard to tell. Back into tag. All right. So we only have 8 credits. Great. But the Boomerang is stuck here. So they could go in for singles. That'd be pretty bad for them. The second and third diversion are like the biggest issue. I'm going to push behind here. Again, we don't have to do too much. I don't think like clicking for credits is a good enough thing to do against Geist. Again, like anytime that Geist thinks they're going to die, they just pop spy cameras, pop spy camera. Like the kill is so effing difficult against Geist. Yeah, thank you, Andre. Yeah, no. I'm with the kids. I know how it is. Wait, did I go look at Exceed? There's a Blaze Blue set coming out. I want it. Yeah, they're doing Blaze Blue. This is fine. They also have one for Shovel Knight. They have a whole set for Shovel Knight, and they have a set also for Dead Cells. I'm not very familiar with Blaze Blue though, besides knowing that it's a fighting game people like. Rio Street Fighter guys? No, I'm pretty sure it's from Fortnite. Yeah, Exceed is great. Yeah, and Zendorius, you can get free demo decks if you want of Ryu versus Ken. I think he's from Doom, actually. Okay, I want to push that Sting out. Sting looks good. We'll do a double ice remote. An offer you can't refuse. Into Shiro Mwanza, don't mind if I do. Putting us on HQ is absolutely the worst thing we can do. At least we don't have to res it. Double genotyping seems like a lot. Ken is from Barbie? I think Barbie's from Ken. Okay, so we know that we can hit them with 4 damage. Do we res the Mwanza? I don't think so. I don't think we do. If we res Mwanza, they basically get our Philotic, which isn't an agenda we want them to steal. Unless I'm missing the joke. Yeah, I'm not going to explain it, but yes, maybe. Basically, all these characters are showing up in Fortnite now, and I don't know. There's going to be a generation of kids who think that they're Fortnite characters, which I'm fine with that. I think that's hilarious. Hit punitive, so they know. They really want in here. Punitive? We only have 5 of those. Fortnite created a cool new character, Chung Lee. Yo, did they put the Spartan? Did they put Master Chief up in there yet? Oh, that is not a Rashida. You cannot do that. How does Epic do it? Okay, so this is going to be 2 damage. The order here doesn't matter. We hit a Simul Chip, which is good. We hit a Boomerang, which is nice too. Those will come back eventually at the back. And NGO Front is nice to bait them through this remote, which again, this can be pretty damaging to them. And I think the offer you can't refuse, again, it's very tricky for this to be good. Because we really need to set up a combo, but like this is only something that they shouldn't refuse if we're on 6 points, which we'll get to it. I see I'm pushing 40. No, it's okay. It's okay. Anybody can play Fortnite, I'm pretty sure. Arash, what's up? It's a fighting game where you don't have to know the other player's options. Wait, sorry, I'm missing something here. Exceed, sort of. Exceed gives you cards that explain your options. But you don't need to know them. They're gonna take the NGO front down. This might be coming from L5R. Same as box in the road. I don't know what any of these words mean. Oh, they have a Damara down. They did get our NGO front. So Marcus Batty is like cute with Shiro. It's sort of cute with Vanilla for a scoring remote. I guess we're going to push out this. A diversion of funds is like the worst case here. But they're running HQ. We might as well give them the snare if they can. Marcus Batty on HQ? Nah. Why? We have to spend money to maybe dodge a doof? It's good to eat the Boomerang. That's true. But they have one more and they have the back. Like, I don't know if shuffling through the deck is that big of a deal. Maybe you're right. But we need to score agendas out too. The fact that they're hammering HQ for singles is probably not right. And so I'm okay with them doing that. Their icon is a client from L5R. Anyone know, but why would you, when you can play Street Fighter 2? It's a board game, it's fun. It's a different thing. It's 3 punitives, my friend. I always preferred Highway Arguer. Oh, it sounds like 80s rock. I don't know what it is. Ooh, my friends, it's happening. Res, they know the top card of the deck. Res Mwanza, continue to encounter ice. It's happening. They're not going to hit an agenda. We can order the cards. They're going to access it. We're going to get a billion monies. We planned for this. I've never fired Shiro. Select a card to move on to R&D next. Do we give them a bacterial programming? The problem is they're going to access all of them with Mwanza, so this literally doesn't matter. We do the bacterial programming so that we can order it. This is brave. We don't have money for 2 snares? Oh, piss and shit. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But we can get the punitive. Pay 1 to keep the run for accessing a card. Nah, man. This is going to not work, right? So we're going to pay 1? No, we don't pay 1 because they're going to go through anyways. Oh, we should have done the card first. So select a card to discard. Okay, so Sting, this is a damage. Sting is going to do a fair bit of damage. So we're going to give them a Sting. Select the card to discard. Oh, wait, we can kill them with double Sting, right? Thinking. Yeah, we can do snare sting, right? So snare is 4 damage, sting is damage. Yes, snare sting kills them. Oh wait, no, I should not discard cards. I'm not gonna discard cards. Snare, sting, snare. Well, double snare doesn't matter. That's a lot of exclamation marks. You win when you see that many exclamation marks. Snare, sting, snare. Nah, that's good. Snare, sting, snare. Done. Yeah. Wait, what? Does Wanza not trigger? What happened? So how do you fix this? Okay. So you should see the next 2 cards without having the option to not see the next 2 cards. Yeah. Yeah, I think the interaction doesn't work. The bacterial, snare, and then the 2 gifts I left you after. I did decide to try snare, really? Oh wait. Do you have the snare prompt open now? Oh, Terrence, what's up? Cinco. Also, yeah, they have to access all the exclamation marks. Oh, so say on your end. You're very dead, yes. What does it say on your end? Is it asking you for any feedback? Oh, there we go. Oh, nice. Hey, GG. It fired. I don't know. I honestly don't know what happened there. I know it's kind of broken. Like I know the interaction doesn't work well because nobody plays Shiro. So maybe the JNet devs don't know it. And it's not worth telling them now. Well, maybe because of Eternal, but this card rotates soon. We did the thing. We did it. Fucking Shiro's sick. And you can gank them so they hit the Shiro again, and then Wanza triggers again, and then you're in the money. There's a spy very least before acting. There's, yeah, you have a window on before the subs fire. But there was another sting down, so that's 2 more damage. It was amazing. I saw 2 snares, 2 stings. Didn't have the snare money though. All the, yo man. Nice original deck. Yo, that's movables. Yeah, you tagged movable on that, which is fantastic. Oh man. Hey, thanks for the game. I think the sting about winner chicken dinner didn't Junkies copyright. Oh, boy, hey, catch you around, eh? Did they say they were coming back into the game? Or was that the last player? Oh yeah. Glad to see you enjoying the game again. Oh, we didn't get it. It's important when you see someone new to be like, yo, welcome. And we missed it. That's sad. Did you just get away another returning player? Yeah, Pat, we double snared out another recurring player. Oh my god. And then they'll never play again and they want to see System Gateway and oh boy. Every time. I know. It's fine. Yo, guys, it's again, it's been a heck of a month. We're only halfway through it. I'll say it again. Next week, same time, same place, we'll be streaming with the new cards we are going to be spoiling online. with system update, with ashes, and some of the already spoiled cards. So hopefully you show back up next week. We'd love to have you. Before that, we'll have a VOD out that says the things that we're spoiling. The video, we'll have a video of spoilers. Again, next week is spoilers week for so many people, the community as a whole. So keep your ears to the ground in terms of checking out Reddit, checking out Green Level Clearance on Twitter. People will share it, so do get involved and see some stuff and comment and talk and give everybody the engagement and love that the internet is built on. But again, yes, next week is a big deal. If you want to like, follow, subscribe to this channel, you'll get notifications, all that stuff goes live. We might be starting to stream a bit early on Thursday just because we're stoked. What does your shirt say? It says Dead by Daylight in Japanese, which is a video game I like. It's also an asymmetrical game. It's really cool. Another week and I literally wouldn't have been out of the room. Oh man, jolly. Hopefully it's okay. Hopefully we'll check in next week and see what weekend. Our week. Ditto by yeah. So is this a reboot? I don't exactly what you mean. Canceling out precious cards, previous cards. Sort of. So in Netrunner, there's a standard meta because there's a lot of Netrunner cards. So when you play in a tournament or in most organized play, they can't assume that you own all the cards because they started coming out in like 2012. So every year or so, whenever new cards come out, they cull some old cards and basically ensures that the card pool is only so big, which is easier for balancing and for understanding the whole card pool. So that happens on the 28th. Not only do new stuff come out, but about 175 old cards are rotating. So much to recap off the week. Oh my God. We're probably going to be streaming more than once a week next week. And then on the 28th and after that, we're going to be streaming a fair bit more too. Favorite factions as a player of Netrunner? Classically Wayland and Criminal. Maybe even Anarch sometimes if the moon and the wolf align. Thanks for stream. See you next week. Yeah, Jay, cheers. Jingless, thank you for dropping in. Also, we'll be doing more of those like review, replay stuff for sure in the future. The feedback was very, very, very positive. I'm glad you all appreciate that. We'll get to there. We'll get that stuff in there. It's not a reboot. NISEI is a fan-run organization. Oh yeah, in terms of like what it is, NISEI is a fan-run organization that is continuing making cards that are, I think they say compatible with Android Netrunner. They've been running for about 2 years, maybe a bit more. They've been making organized play. They've been making new cards. They've been doing rule changes, balance changes. Again, organized play is such a big deal. They ran Worlds, Nationals. They've been absolutely killing it. It's been really good. Hey, but I worked at Behavior when I was in Montreal. Oh, no way. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I knew that, didn't I? Did I? I feel like I might have. Thanks for stream, Andre. Highlight me. Ubi. Glad you're enjoying it so much. Criminal's a good meme. Who needs breakers? Yeah, okay. Let's see. Cheers. Have a good night. Yo, cheers, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Stay tuned tomorrow again on nisei.net. You'll see the system update course, basically like the core for Runner. The next day will be Corp. Again, I think what's going to be more important is not what's in the system update, but what's outside of the system update. So like pay attention to things like what are advanceable traps that are legal? What is tag punishment that is legal? These sort of things are fundamental to the game. And as much as what's in it, what is out of it is equally important. So pay attention to that. To change his mind about the new Wayland ID. Yeah, it's probably a bit better than I think. I did the math wrong, so that's fine. All right, I gotta run. Take care, y'all.